없이 그냥 핀로드 그리고 섀도우한테 만화량 그게 제일 중요한 것 같아요.
섀도우한테 만화량을
박준호 선수가 상당히 안 좋아요.
이거는 안 좋아요. 이거는 많이 안 좋은 게 맞아요.
네, 이거
많이
레이더가
안 좋은 게 맞습니다.
그거만 두면 돼요.
이건 많이 안 좋은 게 맞아요. 핀로드 상황은 쥐지죠.
근데 저거 더스트가 스모크 더스트잖아요. 저 와드잖아요. 네, 이거 일부러.
네. 이거 기다렸다가
밀리처럼 살짝 돌고 있었던 거라고 봐야
그렇죠.
되고요.
자, 아래쪽 라인도 영웅들이 어느 정도로 이제 비벼졌습니다.
제대로 봐야 돼요.
자, 거기다가 뒤쪽에 스로울들도 열심히 같이 싸워주고 있어요.
그리고 지금은 장재원 선수 입장에서는
맞았어요. 자, 70 말씀하시는 순간 인구수 동률. 뒷라인 트라이어드 일단 뒤쪽으로 빠지면서.
자, 근데 이게 마킹이 빠진 상태이기 때문에 빨라지 무장하는 상태.
그리고 자, 위쪽.
저 스타를 타가지고
어디로
싸운다.
탔죠?
이거 싸움.
아래로 탔네요. 자, 위치가 썩 좋지는 못하고요.
자, 스탠드만 스탠드.
또 돌린다. 요요요요요요.
아이 스탬피드를 저렇게 공격형으로 잘 보는데 이거 시작. 자, 이거
위치 기가 막히게 들어가면서 아직까지 보이를 쓸 수 있는 만화가
라인이
살아있습니다.
인피를
이거 빨아주고
그냥 여운 쪽으로 그냥 써줍니다.
크게 밀리지는 않으면서 오크도 잘 싸웠습니다. 끼고 있기 때문에 근데 이거 페이지 다르죠? 이거 죽으면 얘기 다르죠? 인페이 착하시면 언데드 입장에서는 일단 좋은 위치긴 해요.
자, 인페이
진짜 자, 그래도 하고 나서 빠져도 되는데 일단 워스터부터 무섭긴 하죠. 위치 잡고 네네네네
이거만 기대한 건데
그렇죠.
자, 영웅놀이기
점사 들어가죠.
자, 근데 친구가 오래맨인데 정말 안 가면 죽어요.
이렇게 말이죠. 살아납니다. 리치가 다 잘랐어요.
자, 이거 한번 제대로
각도 최대로.
근데 나이트가 워낙에 기본적으로 상성이 없는 길이다 보니까
와야 돼.
이터를 쳐요, 이터를.
와야 돼요.
이거 그냥 무시하고
영웅만 때려서 어떻게 돌려보냈어야 돼. 영웅만 터질 것 같은데요.
이거 패독 나이프로 한 번에 다 먹을 수 있는 사냥법이죠? 잠깐만요. 하나! 스틸은 했어요, 프리스트로.
1.9, 1.7.
자!
나요? 베놈 나이프.
미리 일단 딜을 해놓겠다.
네.
무적. 자, 이건 블링크 써가지고 돌아야 돼요.
그렇죠.
네, 이거밖에 없어요.
자, 유일한 일꾼 잡은.
대보.
돌려주고 볼트 맞고 한 번 더 돌릴 수 있는 타이밍.
네.
또 원하는 타이밍 아닌데요. 들어가서 흡수 포션. 자, 강제어택. 강제어택. 안될 것, 안 되나 들어서.
딱딜. 생처리 스태프도 막 못쓰게 하는 그런 것도 있네요.
그럴 수 있겠네요. 다시 한번 베니시 걸린 상황에서 일단 뒤쪽으로 빠집니다. 그리고 나서
걸린 상황에서 돌려고 들어가고
네.
안티메릭 포션
이렇게 되면
힐이 들어가도 문제예요 지금.
생초리 스텝은
블링크로 오히려 들어가가지고 저기 비벼주는 것도 괜찮은 방법이고요.
네.
자
그래도
돌고
플러드
쳤어.
드라이어드와 탈론이 일단 GG.
공식적으로 복귀 신고를 할 수 있게 돼서 무모한 도전 아니냐.
야, 이거 방향키 보다가 볼일 다 보겠다. 야, 뭐야?
야, 햇살하고 올려와. 어디 가는 거야? 조용히. 오케이.
진짜 마스터한다, 이거.
Hello and welcome to World Cyber Games 2020 Connected. Obviously, it's not Neo and Remo today. They have been subbed out by the Dust Boys. I am Badu. Joined with me is Carson, and we're bringing you the action today. What's up, Carson?
Hello, hello. Through the portal into cyberspace, we have come to decide our fate. We'll celebrate today, Ricky, beyond the game.
This is pretty exciting stuff, pretty crazy. And we do have some crazy games today. I don't know if you guys caught the action yesterday, but it was quite incredible. It was two big stories. I think they're gonna show the stats pretty soon. But Fly and of course Colorful going through into the semifinals, and we have some real mind-busting games tonight. It's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, we got some very, very high-level players. Maybe even the first match being the best we could ask for in all of the Warcraft scene right now. We got Infi against Moon. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, Infi and Moon. For so long, we've been watching the North American games, and they're all right, but this is the pros. This is the best of the best World Cyber Games. It doesn't get any higher than this, Carson. It's very, very exciting.
Yeah, this is pretty cool, man. Well, that's, of course, our first match, and then our second match. We got a UD mirror, baby. We got 120 versus Michael, also very, very hype. And if you're a fan of the Undeads, as I know you are, it's gonna be a great match as well.
I mean, it's really crazy. It's almost like we have arguably the best player from almost 3 different races. I mean, Moon, Elf, Infi, Human, 120 Undead, arguably easily the best players for their race right now playing.
Yeah, for sure. And then Michael is obviously playing insane recently. He wouldn't be here if he wasn't playing very, very well. So it should be a nail biter, should be a close one. He's been abusing that Crypt Lord to the max of its capabilities. He's been playing it really well. And yeah, the real question for Infi, I guess, is will he play Human? I imagine he will, but he has been off racing a little bit recently.
Yeah, I think last year Infi played Moon, and he played Human, and he pretty much stomped Moon. And then when he played Random this year, he's been losing as Undead and Random. Looking at the previous results, though, obviously the upsets from last night. Colorful 3-2 Lolliot, Fly 3-2 Lin. All games going to the distance. All games going for the underdogs.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Lolliot, the currently ranked #1 player in the world, losing to Colorful. What a performance from him. Night Elf mirror, he's always been very, very strong, and it was a bear mirror too, a couple of those games. So a very strong performance from Colorful, and then Fly. It's just been a beast this whole tournament, man. Like, what's been going on with him? He's been crazy, beating Lin, the #1 orc in the world currently. It's just, what a performance from Fly.
Look at the games coming up today, though. I cannot believe we have the privilege, nay, the pleasure of casting Infi Moon. And then 120 Michael. This is going to be really good. Special thing about Michael, too, is like, he's really starting to play good. Talk about Colorful having a storyline. Michael is also right there having a really good season.
Absolutely, absolutely. And here we got the results of Infi and Moon, our first match. We have Infi losing to Lin. Not too big of an upset, beating Sok, and then beating Shishi in the end of it all. And here we got our maps as well, Rick. What are you thinking?
What do you think about these bans? So TS is going to be so sick. Human versus Night Elf. We know what we're going to see there. Probably some Mountain King, probably some Warden. And then going into the rest of the games, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen, especially Amazonia, Echo Isles. Will this go the distance? Is this going to be a stomp? Best of 5 means you got to hit 3 first, Carson. So
yeah,
who's going to do it?
And starting on Terran Stand, what a map for this matchup. This has always been my favorite matchup. Human against Night Elf. Very, very strong. 2 base against 2 base. Potentially a Warden against a Mutant Kangaroo. I love it. I love it. It's always been my favorite matchup. And Terran Stand has always been the best map for this matchup. So this should be a banger game 1.
Yeah, you figured you'd see this map like 2 or 3, maybe even 4 or 5, because players know what they're doing. But I'm not sure if WCG like schedules the maps in their own order or if the players pick. Obviously, the players both got to ban, but this is going to be really, really exciting. Tyrannis Stand to start it off, it doesn't get much better than that, man.
It doesn't get, like, you know, if you're a fan of this matchup, if you're a fan of these players, which you should be if you're a fan of the game, like, oh man, it doesn't get any better of a game 1 than this. Like, what a privilege. You were saying that. Like, I'm so excited, man. I can't remember the last time I was excited to watch some nice Warcraft. We've been casting too much NA recently, Ricky. Too much NA.
Yeah, way too much NA. I agree with that. And if you guys are wondering where Neo and Remo are, they are casting DreamHack right now. It's happening at the same time. PogChamp. There's a lot of Warcraft 3 action, but this is the World Cyber Games. We're definitely going to give you some really, really good games, dude. Infi and Moon, and then Michael and 120. I'm really excited, actually, to see an Undead Mirror. Both these players have played together recently, and they kind of went the distance in a best of 3. I think it was WG. No, it was AWL when Michael played 120. A lot of Crypt Lords, some Lich firsts, and it got pretty interesting, but 120 was able to take that. Can Michael adapt and change his style, or is he going to go into it again with a little bit more practice? Both players have done really well, but I think we're waiting for Tyranna's stand. It's going to be Human versus Night Elf. Oh, baby.
Yeah, going back a little bit to the Undead Mirrors, really, in the current meta, it's a battle of what are the first heroes. Will it be a Crypt Lord mirror? Michael's definitely showed recently that he's the master of Crypt Lord. At least he's been doing a lot against Orc, more so. When it was starting to phase out of the meta, it's slowly working its way back in a little bit. So there's potential for Death Knight, there's potential for Lich, potential for Crypt Lord, definitely. So we're going to see how 120 and Michael decide to play it and what the best of the best are doing in this matchup. So that's pretty exciting to see. Even though mirror matchups can be, a little bit boring sometimes, Undead Mirror definitely isn't at the moment in this current meta.
Yeah, super aggressive with the Crypt Lord openers. Forces, if you go Ted Fiends, you got to be either play aggressive, get right in their face. And then, of course, we have Lich openers where you just go straight for the mine. There's just like 70 pop if you let that expansion go up, and then like 8 minutes, 9 minutes of the game. It can get really, really scary sometimes, but let's talk about the first mirror. I'm so glad that Infi's playing Human. I mean, at the world stage, like, this is the absolute time where you need to play your main race. You cannot be messing around, although his random is so good, too.
Yeah, he's got the best almost of 4 races at times, you could argue. But his Human, especially against Moon, and, they've all said, a lot of the Asian players have said that Human is favored against Night Elf at the moment, so you wonder, like, if he's going to pick out of the pool of the 4 races that he's dominant with, what is he going to choose? But it's definitely going to be Human today, Rick.
Human it is, and guys, we're not wasting any time. This is Tyranna's stand, Infi versus Moon. Let's go right into it.
Oh, man.
I got chills already, dude. We know what we're going to see here.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, in the top left, we have Infi. Man needs no introduction. In the bottom right, of course, we have the 5th race himself. It is Moon.
Already we got something a little spicy. We were talking about this last night, weren't we, when we were discussing the matches? Moon has been favoring a little bit of Beastmaster first recently, and right now this is a Tavern Hero build. He's got the Moonwell over by the expansion, the Ancient of War at the Mercenary Camp, and this is really cool for Moon in the Game 1. This is where you want to spice things up in a best-of-5 series when you're going the distance. You have lots of games to work with, lots of games to trick your opponent, and Moon pulling out all the strings right now, baby.
Yeah, this is a really great map to switch it up to. There's the Merc Camp, which you talk about. If you go Beastmaster, you can get a lot of Mercs and be super aggressive. Is that going to be the case, though? We haven't seen the hero decision yet. What are the other options that you could possibly do on this map?
We've seen Panda first in the past. We've, of course, seen Dark Ranger. Not really the best map for it, but it has been done. And there's all sorts of crazy all-in options. We've seen Naga, but I really think Beastmaster has been the most common for Moon, at least currently. And look at these Moonwells, man. Of course, from Infi, it will be the Mountain King, the most standard choice, especially if you're considering you might play against a Warden. It's very strong against the Warden. It will probably be a fast expansion from Infi as well.
Yeah, a fast expansion, pretty common. Both players probably going, at least Infi for sure, going to creep out that Merc Camp first, get quick level 2, and then head over, right? That's the pretty standard. Moon doing the same thing, but is this going to be, what hero is it going to be? Rock, paper, scissors, 3, 2, 1.
And Infi will know already. He sees the 2 arches before that Ancient War uproots and works its way towards the creep, so he should know it will be a Tavern Hero. But his question is probably not answered, just like it is for us. Still waiting to see. The Priest has been picked up as well. The Footman not able to steal that guy yet, and the Lightning Shield already working away. And it is the Beastmaster.
Wow, Beastmaster going bear first, and here we go, spicing it up in game number 1 of the World Cyber Games. Who's going to make it into the semifinals to meet Colorful and Fly? Oh man, here we go. So Mercamp's getting creeped out. We'll see what the items are for Infi. Look like he got a greater consumable heal pot, which is good, and he's got the mantle. I mean, that's a good... you obviously prefer the mana pot, but health is still okay.
Yeah, not too bad either. And the mantle, definitely good as well. You always prefer the mana items on the Mountain King early, but not too bad at all. Getting the slippers of agility as well, but, you know, a little bit more armor, not the end of the world.
Yeah, pretty good item for Moon here, picking up the mana pot. That's what you want when you have all these summons. Be more aggressive. Pretty good item so far. Now, I think Infi probably just goes straight for the expansion at this point, and this is probably where Moon starts going on the aggressive?
Yeah, I think, is he going to prefer to get level 3 first? He has obviously gone for that bear, and he's got these 2 Moonwells, particularly by the expansions. This means he's probably going to get an early expo. He does have mercenary access, can go very aggressive in the future, and we see the Tree of Life is being planted right away. He is going to get the Pendant of Energy, a lot more mana, a lot more summons. Can't complain with that if you're Moon. And what will Infi get?
There is 2 variations to this, I find. I find the Night Elf player can go aggressive expo later, but Moon taking the approach to expo right away. And look at Infi's play! Staff over to the foot, but he's going to be here. Can he actually deny this?
Oh my
taking a lot of
god,
damage.
the Beastmaster's 1 HP already! He staffs in, he goes Bolt level 2, he got the Pendant of Energy, and now the expansion's exposed and the Town Portal is forced out. There's still a creep here, and the creep is going on the aggressive against the expansion as well. And the expansion gets cancelled, the TP is forced. This is amazing from Infi so far.
Oh my god, Moon must be sweating bullets right now. He's like, where did you come from? Staff play? Are you kidding me on trying to stand? If he cancels the expansion, his is going up. And when you're a Beastmaster, you're using all your Moonwells so early into the game just to rejuve that Beastmaster. Can you even go against the map? He's going to have level 3. Can he go across the map and do any damage? Or does Infi have a free expansion here?
I think it'll definitely be a free expansion. The question is, how much damage can Moon do afterwards? And it was kind of funny. He was trying to get to those 2 Moonwells that he built specifically to be able to heal that Beastmaster up after the expansion creep. But instead, the Bolt, the Clap, forcing the Town Portal before Moon can actually heal theirs. That was such a nice play from Infi. And like you said, the expansion's going to get up for free.
Level 3 Mountain King. Yeah, he didn't use any items there. Picks up the ring. A little extra tankiness. And looks like Moon picked up the Cloak of Invisibility.
Not too bad either if he goes on the aggressive, which right now it's not looking like he will without that Town Portal. Does get the Sentry Wards, going to help out a little bit in the future, but the Footman is going right back over to the expansion again, and the Staff is going to be almost off cooldown, and it is off cooldown, and here comes Infi again.
Here he comes again. Yeah, the Staff's off cooldown now, so he's going to have to try to get out of there. He's taking a lot of damage, actually, and Mountain King came with a little bit of hurt already, so just backing off. But I guess maybe he just wants to see if he's putting down an extra expansion, what the timing looks like, because, I mean, he's looking really comfortable right now with his expansion.
And just keeping Moon honest, right? Keeping him on his side of the map. You don't want the Night Elf player to get too aggressive, start taking away any of the Goblin Laboratories, any of those camps that aren't on your side of the map. So that's what Infi's doing there. And he's going to continue on the aggressive, despite his Mountain King's a little bit low, but he's got that Potion of Greater Healing, which he actually pops right now to do a bit more creeping at the laboratory.
Lumber Mill going down for Infi. That's interesting. Obviously, he wants towers, but maybe this could be a tier 2 tower rush? Or do you think, like, at the expansion because it's so late? Or do you think he just goes into, like, maybe Rifle Caster? Against Beastmaster Archers, you probably just want to... Yeah. Okay, here we go. Grabs the Shredder for Infi as well, but the Beastmaster's here. Picking this off would be so huge, but Infi's going to TP out before any damage can get done. Can he save the Priest? Nice.
Yeah, he gets out of there. He did get the Shredder, which is what he wanted to accomplish there. So the TPs have been traded. He did get the Robe of the Magi, so more and more intelligence on this Mountain King. Infi's not complaining at all with his items this game. Moon's going to pick up the remnants of that camp, but, you know, now Infi can always go over to the right side of the map and start creeping on that side, whereas Moon is just kind of stuck at this bottom left right now. His expansion's very, very late.
Yeah, pumping out Wisp now. He can take the bottom camp, which there is a lot of XP, and I guess at this point, you just want to get as close to level 6 Beastmaster as possible.
Yeah.
Which is going to be good. Level 4 on the Mountain King, though, after this shop is crept up. Another good item. He's got a Robe of the Magi as well. Really nice intelligence items on the Mountain King. It's got 505 mana already. Hitting level 4 now. 520 mana. That's 420 plus 100.
Shout out to Thorzane, right? And he gets a replenishment potion, which is going to help that already low Mountain King use that potion of greater healing. Moon's going to continue creeping, and you said it earlier, working his way up to level 5, and with that, he can get closer and closer to level 6. This Beastmaster, the level 6, it could be canceled with the Stormbolt, the ultimate, of course, but just getting those level 3 and 3 summons are so crucial for the Beastmaster, and I'm wondering what the transition will be for Moon.
Yeah, is he just going to go into like mass archer play? Sometimes you see that, just mass archers, a lot of mercs, or maybe even just mass dryads. Or sometimes they go from archers straight to bears, we see sometimes in this matchup.
Yeah, a lot of options for Moon. He has done a very hit-and-runny style in the past. He gets the expansion up. He gets a lot of Dryads. The Summon's very good at dealing with peasants. The Dryad's very good at being mobile and moving around the map, and he actually gets level 5 on the Beastmaster. That's pretty nice. Level 3 Quill Beast now.
Yeah, this is getting a little out of hand for Moon's heroes. And Moon, you know, he can go on the back foot getting his expansion canceled, but then he can pick it up with just, I'm just going to creep the whole map, and I'm just going to beat you straight up with this hero that's really good in the late game. These summons are going to be disgusting.
And we see them putting in work right now. One low footman going to be taken. Oh, that was just a summon. Going to be taken
he's
down
gonna
by
get the
that
Berserker,
priest.
tons of experience.
Yeah, that's a lot of XP, and we're talking about this level 6 Beastmaster is getting closer and closer. And we saw how much Infi was actually committing into getting these creep camps out on the map. Used 2 Thunderclaps to finish off that creep camp, but he does get it, and he gets the Anka reincarnation from that camp. So not bad creeping. He's just slowly but steadily picking apart the map, but now the pressure's on his expansion.
Yeah, Infi's here. He's got no mana, actually, Infi, so he's just relying on right clicks. He's actually pulling the Shredder for additional damage. There's so many Quill Beasts. Another bear getting popped as well. And Moon still has the mana pot.
Yeah, this is so much pressure with pretty much just summons. The Shredder trying to be repaired. This is crucial for Infi to keep up. His lumber's not too bad right now, but once you get that tier 3 tech, once you get those production buildings, it will start to dwindle, and the Stormbolt being invested onto this bear, and he's going to save the Shredder, but the trees are running out of the expansion. But in the meantime, Moon so nicely creeping up that Demon Hunter second that he's getting.
Yeah, Demon Hunter second. I like it. I like it a lot. Obviously, when you're going up against Mountain King, you don't want the Mountain King to have mana, but actually Archmage second for Infi? We usually see Blood Mage, no?
Yeah, this is very interesting, but Archmage always a good later game option, especially we do see him having Arcane Sanctums in the main base, so that's going to help with the Brilliance Aura to keep those casters up, and you obviously need the casters, you need the priests to deal with the summons of the Beastmaster. The Breakers just aren't going to cut it with the control magic against these big bears, against these big Quill Beasts. You need the Dispel, and for that you need the Aura, so a smart choice, and the Demon Hunter, of course, smart choice for the mana burn against the Mountain King, like you point out.
Scourge Bone Chimes from Moon. I mean, the items are looking good. The hero levels are looking good. The Mountain King a little exposed here. Does he have a way out? He's got a Potion of Greater Healing. He's going to pop that right away, actually, to stay alive. But he should get out.
And a staff. Yeah, a little bit of a block there, but Moon realizes he'd have to commit a lot of time. Would prefer to just keep creeping this Demon Hunter because he needs the level 2 mana burn, needs the level 3. Okay, and we do have a workshop in the main base, an Arcane Sanctum tier 3 tech, so it's all kicking in for Infi now. In Moon, we did see the 2 Ancient Allures in the main base, so will it be Bears, will it be Dryads? Probably a mixture of both. We'll have to see if he went for that tier 3 tech.
And the difference in the lateness and expansion, Infi banking like a madman, 1200, 1100, look at him go. But Moon, he's banking a bit, but I mean, at this point, he probably wants to break right away. He probably won't have the choice to, maybe he will, maybe both players are going to bank. Both players are going to bank.
We're going late game, baby. And we did see Moon. We saw Moon getting the Ancient of Wind, and that's just more so to deal with some sort of a Zeppelin, maybe tank drop play. We see that very commonly. We've seen it in this tournament as well. Lots of tanks on Terranus stand. So to deal with the potential for a Zeppelin, to deal with the potential of maybe some later Griffins, of course, but that's what that Ancient of Wind is for currently.
Look at how annoying these Quill Beasts are, just constantly attacking the towers, constantly putting on pressure with this expansion. Moon is actually all over the map, considering he's doing great right now. And yeah, both players still banking. Nobody's decided what to do with their 50 supply. It looks like Moon's going to break. He's at 51. Is he going to Dead a Wisp, or is he going to commit here?
Yeah, all the tech is starting to kick in for Infi. He sees those frag shards. He's got knights on the way out. He's going to have the priest for the dispel, and like you said, Moon is going to break upkeep just on 51, like you said. Maybe detonate a wisp, Moon, but the Demon Hunter did get level 3 and has some crispy items, double claws of attack, so that Demon Hunter is looking scary, and it almost just came out of the altar.
Yeah, plus 17, especially with the Orb of Venom. That is a tanky, juicy boy with a lot of damage. Moon's still doing the 51 trick, and I know I'm not trying to coach the man here. Blood Mage third as well coming out for Infi. Could have been a Paladin, but I guess he definitely wants the Siphon mana for sure.
Interesting, yeah, and there's Blizzard for the Archmage, so in the future we could see Thunderclap, Blizzard, Flame Strike, lots of AoE, and we did see the Bear tech for Moon, so there'll be a lot of AoE against these heavy ground units. So an interesting tech choice, but like you said, Moon's bank is dwindling. He's only 56 supply and already out of gold. He is pumping production, but where did the bank go?
Went to another expansion, Carson, in the bottom left.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be Moon. It wouldn't be a Moon game if he didn't have 15 expansions. But if he could hold, actually, he might be able to secure that. And then that's a completely different outcome here. Level 3 on the Demon Hunter. That's level 2 mana burn. Super effective on this Mountain King so far. And without the Blood Mage, this Mountain King is going to have no mana for this fight. Oh, he pops Scroll the Beast as well.
Yeah, really good mana burn there. Just the Roar, but the Blizzard are going to come in. We do have a decent amount of rifles here, and if they're in a good position behind these farms, they're going to be able to put in a lot of work, and the AoE really has to be respected. Stormbolt, but Staff is going to counter it, and the Militia being called as well. So a nice hold from Infi, but all Moon wanted to do was buy time for the expansion that is now mining.
Look at that. Both players at even supply. Moon's got the capability for 90, and we're probably just going to see him skyrocket straight to it. Double expansion economy. Really nice play there from Moon to get the expansion up. Look at the upgrades kicking in. He's got 2-2 already. I think Infi's only sitting at 2 attack on his rifles.
Yeah, which isn't too bad either, but the Knights are going to have to get their own set of upgrades eventually, and he will need more and more of those. The rifles are not going to cut it against this late Tier 3 Night Elf army. And right now, Infi is storming down to the bottom left. Will he find that expansion? That just got up from Moon. It hasn't paid off yet, so maybe the siege will continue down there.
Yeah, Infi going straight down to the south. He's going to scout this expansion. I don't think he has already. So he's definitely going to see something's up, because why are you defending that bridge, right? But bringing the Shredder as well. Double towers, actually. He's gonna set up a perimeter here. I kind of like this.
This is some classic Hume against Night Elf. There's the anti-magic shell potion. Cast him, the mana burn going off, but it's immediately dispelled. The Thunderclap's putting in a lot. The Wisps from the back are huge. The detonates are massive. The Demon Hunter a little bit exposed. There should be a Staff of Preservation. The first Fairy Dragon's coming out. The Bear's got good surface area. The Demon Hunter does get out. The Mountain King is very, very low, but has that Anka reincarnation. There's the Blizzard, and we have seen Thunderclaps already. Lots and lots of AoE on Moon's Bears.
Yeah, the Mountain King a little exposed, taking a bit of damage, but the Blizzard is so good, actually, and Infi pops a Hail Scroll a little bit earlier to sustain him in this fight, but he's going to have to TP out because the Mountain King is just ineffective in this fight. He TP's out, there goes his position, these towers will be destroyed, and Moon holds again at 77 supply and skyrocketing. And that was a big fight for Moon to win, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. Holds that expansion, and with that, it will now pay off, and maybe he's going to force Infi into a third base of his own, but we already see Moon has a scout in that top right. He's going to know when Infi goes for that, and he's got the potential to do split attacks with these summons and the Beastmaster, level 5.7, and with the level 2 mana burn, he can keep the Stormbolts at bay and maybe actually get a crucial ultimate off.
Oh, the upgrades are starting to get really out of hand for Moon. He's almost at 3-3. He's got 3 armor, 2 attack. I assume the third attack is being upgraded as well. And this army for the Night Elf player is just looking so scary right now. That Beastmaster is so close to 6. Demon Hunter is actually doing work considering he's at level 3. But with all the items, he's just so tanky. And the Scourge Bone Chimes, don't forget about that. That's actually so good to have in this fight. But Infi's going to try this again. He's got 2 more towers on his Blood Mage. He's going to try this position again. This is like textbook Yumiko from back in the day. Yumiko almost never took a fight against Night Elf without setting up like 3 towers in advance. Yeah. It's so amazing to see.
Absolutely. You definitely see a lot of these tower crawl, these high-level positions in these high-level games in this matchup. There's the Siphon, there's the Stormbolt, keeping that Demon Hunter at bay, but there's plenty more mana where that came from. But you can't say the same for the health. Nice Stormclap or Thunderclap there. But the Staff gonna go out to the Moon Juice, and the Mountain King is now the one under pressure. Again, we saw him force the Town Portal out the last fight because there was just so much damage taken on the Mountain King, but the AoE is gonna put in work itself. The Fairy Dragons helping out quite a bit against those casters, and the Blizzard's doing work. But can Infi hold these towers?
Yeah, the Mort's in the back doing some damage. The Knights are creating a perimeter here. The Mountain King is just trying to clap and move out of position so he doesn't get mana burn. The Blood Mage is actually out of mana as well, so Infi's definitely going to have to reposition here. The Fairy Dragon's doing some serious work. And there's bears at the top, I think, left, right, center. There's bears everywhere, Carson.
Yep. Bears 3,
96
2, 1,
supply
go. Yeah, that's a lot of units, and the Fairy Dragons are still putting in work. Infi's trying to kite, but again, the Wisps are always there for Moon, and look at the army HP dwindle. Somehow Moon holds on, and now the good thing about bears, you can just go to Druid form, rejuvenate everything, and now the towers are exposed yet again, and this Beastmaster is going to get level 6 off these towers if they're exposed.
There it is, level 6. Does he go for the bear? Does he go for the ultimate?
The Mountain King, it does have an Ankh. from before, so it is going to come back. Right? Yeah, there it is.
There it is. Yeah.
Okay,
Still
the
very out of
Blizzard,
position, and Moon is just pushing this position with 84 supply.
Mountain King gets out. Okay.
Staffs out, yeah, he was super out of position there, and I'm surprised Moon didn't try to like surround with like 4 units. But the Demon Hunter continuing to press forward, the rifles dropping, and these are crucial supply for Infi. I mean, he's trying to set up a perimeter, but just mortars by themselves, like he needs buffer in front. And these bears are just running through him.
Yeah, and the 3-base economy is really kicking in, and look at the Mountain King, it's always so low. It's supposed to be the other heroes that are low when the Mountain King's on the field, especially with level 5, but Moon just keeps pressing forward. He's got so many bears, Ricky, and we were talking about the upgrades earlier, and that's helping out a lot in these long, sustained fights. And the towers are up in the bottom, but there's no army there to pressure this 3rd base, and Moon is pressuring the 1st base of Infi.
Yeah, this is the main, this is where all the production is. Blizzard comes down. It's needed. He needs about 7 or 8 of those, Carson, if he wants to kill these bears. These bears are so tanky. 3/3 upgrades. They're just so tanky.
And the Blizzard's trying to do its best. The Archmage is low. The Mountain King is low. The army is split in 2, and the bears are looking healthy as ever thanks to those nice heal scrolls from Moon. A couple of low ones, but there is Staff of Preservation off a cooldown and another heal scroll in the tank as well. Infi's trying to press towers forward for if he ever holds, but there's the ultimate. There's the Stampede. And the main base is very exposed. Where's the Mountain King to get a Stormbolt off?
Infi's been doing a really good job of segregating Moon's army until now. Obviously, it's grouped up, but a lot of Dryads died, a few Bears died as well, and Infi's been able to even up the supply. But I don't know, now that the army's together, the Blood Mage's out of position, GG's called, and Moon is going to take game number 1. That was crazy. He had 3 expansions.
Yeah, and he wins it with the Stampede. What style points? He blocked off the Mountain King at the bottom from getting that Stormbolt off, and of course, there's always a mana burn ready, so you almost have to have a mana pot on your Mountain King just to cancel that ultimate. That was so nicely played from Moon. A perfect 3rd expansion or 2nd expansion timing. Continue to pressure into the main base. Always held, always had enough heal scrolls. Had good positioning to cancel the towers. Just a masterful performance, and that's 1-0 for Moon.
1-0 on Trent as we go into CH. I mean, wow. And especially when Moon was considerably behind that game, but he just said, you know what, I'm just going to creep up the map, put down more expansions, I'm going to get to 100 supply. What are you going to do when I have 3/3 upgrades? I'm in your face. Scourge Bone Chimes, baby. That's how you beat a human.
Not a single Mountain Giant either, just Bear, Dryad, some classic human versus Night Elf, the Tower Crawl with the Mountain King. The Archmage second, pretty interesting, but made sense. Yeah, going into Concealed Hill, we have seen Moon do the Beastmaster against Undead on this map. Will he do it a 2nd game in a row? Moon always known for having 5 different strategies in a best of 5, so we'll have to see.
Beastmaster just all 5 games. Tavern Hero all 5 games. Who knows? We'll see what happens. It's interesting actually, because I was mentioning last year when Infi, mind you, it was the end of 2019, but when Infi played Human against Moon, he was just dominating 3-0, 2-0,
Yep.
3-0. And we're starting to see Moon close that gap. Obviously, a lot has happened this year. We had Anaheim DreamHack where Moon was there, won the whole thing. Obviously, a full year of training does a lot for you, but maybe Infi thought, I'll just play Human and win against Moon, but Moon not making it easy for him.
Yeah, Moon definitely not a chump. Not a chump at all. Not one you could take lightly, not one you could take easily. And going into Concealed Hill, there's been a couple of interesting human strategies on this map. We have seen the 1 base. We've seen the Archmage, Blood Mage, Tier 2 timings, very common on this map. But I'm guessing that Infi is just going to continue going for this fast expansion style, probably with an Archmage this time. The question is, what's Moon going to do? How's he going to change it up yet again? And that's really the difficult thing about playing Moon, is what is he going to do? I don't know. Got no idea.
You could 1 base as Human as well on CH, I think,
Yep.
and hit a Tier 2 timing. You see like Archmage and Naga. Sometimes Naga push with Tier 2.
Yep.
Pretty solid. But I don't know. What do you do against Moon? Like you said, he switches it up all the time. He just does crazy stuff all the time. And he makes it work. That's why he's the best.
Yeah, this new Beastmaster style, it was obviously not too new. It was done in the past, but recently coming back a little bit has been really cool to see, and it's almost just a Moon special, the Beastmaster first. Not a lot of other Night Elves have been adapting it yet. A lot of them just sticking with the Warden, which has had a lot of success in the past, but yeah, I'd love to see 2 Beastmaster in a row. You can't complain with these cool Tavern Hero builds.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you see the late altar, you're like, oh no.
Moonwells by the Expo. Like, it's so cool to see. But I used to see it on Echo Isles, if you remember. They just build moonwells all the way down to their Expo, like just going past the mercenary camp all the way down, like the classic, and then go like Dark Ranger or something. It's so cool to see. Very old school, very Moon.
Yeah, Dark Ranger, Panda, and then Beastmaster, yeah. Typical Moon. Pretty exciting. I really didn't think that the game would even go that late. We usually see, like, on Tremendous Stand, it's usually somebody cancels the expansion, somebody puts it up, and maybe it goes late game for a bit, but we actually saw 100 supply in game number 1.
Yeah.
Incredible. Guys, I can't wait for game number 2. It's going to be on Concealed Hill. I think we're starting up soon. I think that's what that crazy pump-up music is for.
Yeah, that was freaking me out, man. I didn't know what I was hearing.
And yes, it's going to be game number 2 on Concealed Hill, guys. Infi playing Human and Moon playing Night Elf. Infi spawned in the bottom left as the red Human. Moon in the top right. And it looks like the altar is right where it's supposed to be, Carson.
Yeah, we're right back at home, baby. Probably going to be a Demon Hunter. And also worth noting, we haven't mentioned this yet, it is do or die for these players today, man. The loser's out of here.
Absolutely.
The winner's going on.
Winner's going on, and I think in World Cyber Games, the way it's been panning out is everyone's playing like all their games. Even if you 2-0 in a best of 3, you play them all for points. Mm-hmm. So even if you like lost the series, you just play all the time, just keep going and going. But this is it. First to 3 is the winner, and the first person to not hit 3 is going home.
First person to not
Actually,
hit 3
technically,
is
they're
going
already home.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. As are we. Archmage. Okay. Will it be the Demon Hunter? Is going to be the Keeper of the Grove. Cool. Moon has been very successful with this hero ever since it phased into the meta. Very hit and runny. We were talking about the lots of Dryads with the Beastmaster last game. Lots of Dryad hit and run style. Very strong with the Keeper as well. So lots of options for Moon. A master of this style with the Keeper of the Grove first.
Yeah, it looks like AOW creep is going to creep the orange, and I wonder what the creep route for Infi is going to be. Going Archmage, is he going to go aggressive? Is he going to think something's up with Infi, or with Moon, sorry, or is he just going to play standard?
Yeah, is it going to get to his head a little bit, these weird, wacky strategies in the first game from Moon, right? Is he going to think, I have to do something, I have to adapt? But I think Infi, the Iceman, is cool under pressure. He knows what it's like to be down 0-1 in a best of 5. He's not going to crack, and he'll probably just go for his standard play, go for that expansion. Moon, on the other hand, has started with his orange camp, as has Infi. Both players going to try to get at least level 2 in this early game.
Circlet for the Keeper, not a bad item. We'll see what Infi gets dropped. Gloves of Haste, not a bad item. A couple extra right clicks on the Archmage, never hurt nobody.
Never hurt nobody at all, except for maybe the Keeper of the Grove, Rick.
Yeah, I think he would take some damage, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so the tower going up, we see, is this a 2 farm? So it must be a tech from Infi, it must be 1 base.
We'll have to see. We did see a 3rd farm going up. Generally, the 4th farm, of course, does mean expansion. It means go, 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 go. Get that 2 base economy rocking. Right now, we see Moon creeping a little bit aggressively, getting in position to stop that potential expansion. Infi did get his level 2. Moon's going to get his level 2 as well. Mantle of Intelligence, again, we're talking about hurting that Keeper of the Grove. That's going to hurt a whole lot more. And here's going to be the level 2. Here's going to be the Entangle unlocked for Moon and Tome of Agility. A little bit more tankiness against those Gloves of Haste.
Yeah, and if you're Moon, I think you want to be aggressive at this point. You got the Entangle, you got the trees on your side. And that's what we're going to see. Moon's going to actually meet up with Infi right at the bottom right. And this could be bad timing for Infi if he wants to creep up this expansion, which looks like the case. I see the Militia pulled, Carson.
And the Wisps are here. The Water Elementals aren't split yet, and they don't get split. The Detonate is huge, and the Poison Creeps do a lot of damage here when you're trying to creep. Looks like so far Infi's doing a pretty good job under the pressure, but there's a couple of archers that are going to be able to pick up a decent amount of kills. And look at the mana on the Keeper of the Grove. It's still very high. 1 Footman's going to fall. There's a couple low Militia. The Treants are going to be summoned. Is the expansion just canceled? There's so much pressure here. There's 3 archers and Treants.
Yeah, the Treants are still here, and I think for the good thing about Infi is he got a majority of that experience, really close to level 3, but the Keeper of the Grove starting to take damage now, and he's going to have to back up. But yeah, the expansion is definitely not going to go up. The Militia are going back home as peasants, poor lowly peasants.
Players' forces are under attack.
And Moon,
Moon's got a lot of gold right now. Is he waiting to... Okay, he's just going to continue to build archers, which is very standard if you think you're up against a fast expansion with a Keeper of the Grove. Pure archer, potentially a Panda second, Naga second, but just lots of archers, lots of pressure. And I think because of that, Infi might be respecting the strategy and canceling, but he's actually going for it again, and the Treant's going to scout it.
Yeah, he's creeping it out. Is he actually going to... Oh, he's got the... Yeah, he's good. Oh, this is crazy. Moon is teching, though. Level 3 on the Archmage now. Pendant of Energy. Good item to have. Moon's here with the archers, though. The archers are here this time.
And there should be about 4 or 5 of them now. Pendant of Energy, of course, very good when you're under pressure like this. More water elementals, even if there's wisps committed to detonate them. Still better for the 2-base player.
Okay, here we go. Expansion begun. And yeah, it looks like Moon's backing up, but it's okay. He's teching. He's got his archers. This is fine. He hasn't lost any units. When is the right time to siege this expansion, Carson, if you're Moon? Do you just sit back? Oh, that's what you do. Sit back, make a Tree of Life for your own. So you can play this game.
Players' forces are under attack.
Yeah, very safe, conservative Tree of Life from Moon. Even though he's the one on the aggressive, doesn't want to take any unnecessary risks, doesn't want to get the staff cancel play that Infi did show he's capable of doing last game, especially with the water elementals on level 2. You can cancel that Tree of Life very easily, so that's a nice, safe position. And now Moon is almost level 3, and with that, he could do some serious damage to the expansion that's still not yet completed. He's about 2.9. Still to get one more footman kill. Maybe the water elemental is going to give it to him. We see him even committing an entangle, and that will grant him level 3 if it's not denied.
Here's Infi, though. Can he actually deny this? How's his Dota? Not good enough. Level 3 on the Keeper, and it's go time, baby. Level 2, entangle. Rock and roll. This is really good timing. Look how out of position Infi is. He's got no units here. Some of the peasants are hurt. It's a good time to attack. No towers up yet.
And we saw Moon doing this last game as well. All he's doing right now is buying time for his own counter expansion. Any damage he gets done here is just gravy on top of it. So we'll see how much. He gets a footman, he gets a peasant, and he just backs off, keeping Infi honest. And now he's going into the main base, and the Treants could make a way for that Keeper to get in. The footman, actually, he's just waiting for rally points. So smart from Moon, waiting for these footmen and keeping the numbers very, very low. With that, Infi won't be able to harass any tech, any expansion, any creeping, and he won't be able to creep himself.
Yeah, this is so crazy. Moon is so good at splitting Infi, man. Just like all the reinforced rally footmen getting dropped. Everything's getting picked apart. Yeah, he's got the expansion up, but it's so annoying. How do you transition when you're just losing all these units that are supposed to help you defend this? Level 3 for the Keeper.
2 footmen.
Water Elemental might get killed. That's additional experience, and it looks like Moon's actually committing to this expansion this time. And the Archmage is out of position. Shop gets canceled right away. Will Moon dive in this? He's still just buying time though, Carson, like you said. So not going to dive too much. That's how you lose archers, and he needs these archers to creep out the expansion because that camp is a bit of a doozy.
Yeah, he is tier 2. No second hero yet picked up, but I imagine he'll pick up a second hero, maybe a Naga, maybe an Alchemist, and creep that out for the immediate level 2. Now that his Tree of Life is uprooted and walking over, the main base is still a little bit exposed for Infi. I think he just has an Arcane Tower, and it will be that Demon Hunter second as well for the mana burn. Crucial against the potential Mountain King second from Infi. So a smart choice again from Moon, and he's just sticking with his Keeper of the Grove around. He's got a Staff of Teleportation, and the Demon Hunter, I imagine, is going up to creep that expansion.
Yeah, Demon Hunter, very indicative that Moon wants to play late game. If it was like a Naga, I'd think he's trying to push and just kill the end the game right now. But Demon Hunter, pretty safe. And the safe bet is a good bet.
It's always a good bet, baby. And there is a little turtle camp above Moon's base, so we can get even more creeping. We talk about this level 2 mana burn being a crucial thing you need to reach with that Demon Hunter if you're going to choose to go him the second. And he is going to get the level 2 from that expansion creep, really keeping Infi on his side of the map and even stopping him almost from creeping. More and more footmen are falling thanks to this entangle.
Yeah, Moon is just sneaking his way in, entangle here, entangle there. This is crazy. Usually people get caught out of position. Moon is so good with his Keeper of the Grove. And here comes the staff over. Use a bit of Moonwell juice. And he's just going to continue to be aggressive while he creeps this expansion. And this will actually mean that Infi might not even get over there to scout or see what's going on. Level 2 on the Demon Hunter already. The item, Pendant of Energy.
Pennant of Energy, baby. And we see the first Dryad coming out as well, and we were talking about how good Moon is, especially on these big, long maps where you can play this hit-and-run style. And we see, right, you're talking about him splitting Infi's army. He's going to be able to do that once he has a big set of Dryads as well. More and more footmen dying. There's one, probably a second one with this next Entangle. He does have to respect the Mountain King might be coming out soon, so he might get caught out a little bit. But these footmen are just so low every time the Keeper of the Grove is around.
Yeah, we're starting to see the production, the supply for Infi dwindle as Moon slowly gets Dryads and more of his tier 2 units. Shredder as well, just being bought. The Archmage is going to see it, but he can't do much about it. And the Archmage being annoying on these archers, but I think Moon should be able to creep this whole camp. He should maybe go for a last hit, but he's being so annoying with the trying to pick up Dryads and archers. But Moon's going to get this camp, Carson. That might be level 3 on the Demon Hunter, actually. So quick.
Yes, so fast. Just a couple of camps, and the Keeper of the Grove is still sticking around the expansion, but here comes Infi. He's moving up with his army. His Blood Mage second, actually, going towards the lab. Is he just going to creep, or is he going to the expansion? He's just going to creep. You definitely need that level 2 Blood Mage, at least, for the Banish and the Siphon combination. And here's the Keeper of the Grove is going to catch out Infi trying to creep yet again. Infi does get the Shredder, and the Siphon is canceled by the Entangle, but now the pressure is on. But the Siphon is doing so much work against this harassing Keeper.
Yeah, no more last hits going to be had unless he's feeling rambunctious. And Moon is feeling rambunctious. Doesn't get the Golem, but he might get the Footy. He entangles one, and the other one's really low. Gets one. Could he get two here? Is the Entangle going to be able to kill that?
Should be very close. And in the meantime, the Demon Hunter's just been creeping this whole time. Going to pass over a Potion of Greater Mana and a Pennant of Energy. And we're talking about how good the Keeper of the Grove harasses. It's going to be 10 times as good now. And a Replenishment Potion. All things that Moon needs on that hero right now. And he's going to probably just continue this pressure.
Yeah, this is really good. You have 3/3 heroes is exactly what you want. Infi's now struggling to try to get that level 2 Blood Mage, but if he can creep out this camp in time, he will, which is really good. Griffin Aviary actually coming out. Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. He got one Dragonhawk Rider already. He's getting a second one as well, and this is going to help him creep out those fountains very early. That's an early red camp, but in the meantime, Moon has so many Dryads, so many Archers, he can creep out the middle camp, and with that, potential for a very good item for both players.
Yeah, Potion of Invuln on the Demon Hunter already. We'll see what item he gets. Looks like Helm of Valor.
Yeah, and Scourge Bone Chimes from the fountain. So pretty good as well.
Yeah, if you're Infi, obviously you want to go for Knights late game to utilize the Scourge Bone Chimes. Is that the case? I mean, these D-Hawks, what is the normal transition if you're Infi in this case?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting choice. He, I guess, expects Moon to go into Dryads, which is why he's doing this, but the Griffin's not the ideal counter when you're against mass anti-air. Maybe it's some sort of a hit-and-run style. He says, okay, you're going to go Dryads and play hit-and-run. I'm going to do the same with Dragonhawk Riders, but very interesting tech choice from Infi, to say the least.
Carson, Infi has 2,000 gold.
Yeah, dude, he was banking last game, he's banking again, and why not? I mean, it worked out a little bit better for Moon, who was the first to break last game with those upgrades, with those massive bears, but maybe it'll be a little bit better this game. Yeah, 2,500 gold bank, Ricky.
So I see a Workshop, I see a Barracks, I see a Griffin Aviary. I don't see a Sanctum. There's not much buffer between these Knight, Griffin, D-Hawk choice.
Yeah.
Is this like, is this where the strat kind of gets dicey?
Well, he's going to have those frag morts against the Dryads. The one thing he's missing out, and that's where the dice come in, and he's got no Dispel currently against the Keeper of the Grove, who's working his way up to level 5.
Yeah, both players just creeping out. 4-4 for Moon, 4-3, 4-3-1, the Paladin, obviously, and here comes Infi. Infi's going to siege this expansion. Moon definitely out of position, but he's just going to go for the expansion of Infi's. Both players going to go for a base trade here.
Yeah, the SimCity is a lot better for Infi, though. Just an Ancient Protector at the expansion of Moon. But for Infi, look at the farms, look at the Workshop blocking. The Workshop, not something you want to lose if you're in Infi's position. He's pumping 2 Mortar Teams out of that right now. Already got the Fragmentation Shards, but you really need that production right now. But both players look like they're about to lose quite a bit of that.
Is Moon going to respect this push here? Because, yeah, he is. Okay, he's going to TP home. Doesn't have much of a choice here, and Infi's going to back out. Ooh, nice TP though, aggressive TP. Could he? Yeah, and there you talked about there's no Dispel. This is a dead Pally.
He's got banished though. Who needs the spell when he got banished? That's actually so smart. I didn't think of that. He's still gonna lose the paladin, but the banish could just cancel that entangle and save those heroes. So that's also nice. He's got the Siphon too to deal with that. The Keeper's gonna staff back, deal with that Water Elementals that's doing some scouting. And the expansions both live, but Infi lost the Workshop.
Yeah, level 2 Siphon, not level 2 Banish though, so obviously he wants to banish the Demon Hunter late game, wants to start banishing obviously those Dispels on the Entangles, which he doesn't have an answer for. But the Dryad slowing down the Blood Mages, this is annoying. Can he get out? Constant slow pressure. The Keeper has full mana, by the way.
Oh, trying to block, trying to save that level 3 Blood Mage. That's a crucial hero to keep up, but now the Archmage is under pressure. Staff and Teleportation out after the Entangle, but so much damage, and there's no priests, and the Paladin's dead. He's got to use these terrible, terrible scrolls to heal up his Archmage, and that's not even going to get it to full health. And now the next Workshop is under pressure yet again, but in the main base, maybe the Shredder's going to fall. But, the Lumber's pretty good for Moon right now. I mean, he might need to get another one in the future, but for now, the Lumber's fine.
Yeah, we're talking about late game, like how this stacks with no Dispel as a human, with not having that Sanctum, and Moon is finding his windows to like take advantage of Infi and kind of abuse the fact that he has no Dispel, and I kind of like it.
Here's the Hippogriffs are going to start dealing with these Dragonhawk Riders and the Dryad in the main base, but 2 Shackles and then 3 Dragonhawks to deal with the Dryad, although there is a couple of Moonwells here. Maybe going to lose 1 Dragonhawk in the future, but all the Moon Juice is getting soaked up. There's a couple more Hippogriffs that are going to come in. It looks like Moon is going to slowly win this air battle.
Yeah, right now the D-Hawks are like a majority of Infi's army as well, so the transition obviously should be ground. No, Griffins, mass air all day. And Infi's got such a bank. Just going to start pumping these out like crazy. Mass D-Hawks, more Griffins, more D-Hawks, more Griffins. Upgrades look good too. 2-1 so far. Moon's got upgrades for days though, looking at his 2-2. Soon to be 3-3. Both players at 75 supply.
This is just going to be like mass air versus mass air. We're seeing a lot of Hippogriffs being pumped out. You get in this weird sort of who has more air units. It's not really about a lot of micro in the end. It's who has more stuff in these air versus air fights. And right now, the Dragonhawk Riders look like they are reigning superior to the Hippogriffs, but it's not going to be too long before Moon has a big air army as well.
Yeah, it looks like both players again just going to go for the Ring Around the Rosie base trade. Treant's now coming into play. I think Moon's going to have to TP again, or he's going to lose. He's definitely going to lose his expansion. But like you said, the SimCity for Infi's so good, and again, Moon finds it. It's Moon that's TPing back all the time. Hippogriff count getting pretty high though.
Yeah, the thing that's unfortunate for Moon right now is that Infi is very mobile, and Moon wants to be the one who's mobile with the Keeper of the Grove, with the Dryads, but air units, they're just flying over the trees. There's not enough Hippogriffs, I think, to deal with this air army alone. It might be just enough, but you need those Dryads, you need those Archers to take a head-on-head fight, it seems like, but right now, here comes in the Hippogriffs. It looks like Infi realizes there's not enough Dragonhawks, and maybe he's going to start losing a lot here.
Oh, tried to go Shackles, I think, along the water line there. I'm not going to get it. There is a pretty even account as well. Pretty even count of D-Hawks to Hips. But you just can't find the angle. Is this it? Okay, no. Just running away. But yeah, it looks like the Hips are just picking off units one by one. And this is bad for Infi. Nice staff on the one D-Hawk that was getting low. But I mean, if you lose the air count, there's still Dryads and Archers on the ground. I mean, Moon's army is looking really strong.
God. Okay, he's got 3 workshops just pumping Gyrocopters. Okay, that's how you get the air superiority, Ricky, apparently. So he doesn't have enough Dragonhawk Riders currently, but once he's got enough of those flying machines, he's going to be able to start pumping Griffins. But you still, like you just pointed out, how do you deal with the ground army even if you get a good amount of air dominance? In Infi shoes, you still need mortar teams, you still need some knights, because there's a decent amount of archers and dryads.
Yeah, the ground army for Moon is still pretty big, and look at these tree ants, just a march of the trees. Going into the main base, the roar is pretty good on these units so far, and is this a fight that Infi wants to take with the roar on? I don't know. This is a lot of damage.
There's a Dark Ranger third as well for Moon, for of course the silence against the shackles, so that's going to render all these Dragonhawks essentially useless at the moment. But that's, of course, why there's a flying machine count as well. But now the Archmage is caught out of position. It forced into a town portal. That was close. That was dicey. Paladin going to heal him up a little bit, but you can't be slipping with these heroes if you're Infi. This Entangle is doing so much work.
Yeah, Moon's just waiting for a slip up like that. Good thing for Infi is he caught himself, TP'd home, safe. Don't want to lose that level 4 Archmage before a fight even began. But the flying machine count is getting very, very high, Carson. In fact, Infi sitting at 90 supplies. This might be 5 games in a row, possibly that we see 100 food. Only Infi versus Moon.
Yeah. Ancient War in a very nice position to scout. This is third base, of course, on Concealed Hill. Very important. If one player gets lots of map control in the mid game, this third expansion goes to them, and there's no counter expansion position for the player who doesn't have the map control, who's not able to get that third base. And to boot, it's on high ground. So if there's a lot of archers, if it ends up in a ground versus ground fight, this expansion's very easy to hold for the player who's defending there. So this expansion, very important. And we see now Infi bringing militia. It's going to try and start towering this up.
Yeah, we see 2 scrolls of healing for Moon, 1 for Infi. And yeah, shop control is going to be big. Who can get more scrolls? This fight is going to be huge, Carson. It's going to be huge. I cannot get over the air fight that's going down. Actually, tower is going down in the mid. You talked about how important this mid is, and Infi agrees. He wants it. Here comes a fight, Carson. Flying machines coming in. Is he going to be able to handle what's on the ground as well?
Oh, there's so many flying machines with a Scroll of the Beast. This is crazy damage. But the Dryads and the Archers in the back are working. It looks like a scary air army, but the Archers are going to really do a lot of work. But there's still a decent amount of Griffins and Dragonhawks in the back. The Demon Hunter Orb is putting in work. Actually, a level 5 Demon Hunter. That's going to help quite a bit. And it looks like Infi is forced to back off despite having so many flying machines. Moon says, I don't care about those Hippogriffs. I got my ground army. And the towers are canceled in the expansion attempt. Importantly, is canceled as well.
Yeah, a little bit of smoking mirrors with the supply here, because that army on the ground for Moon, it will actually differentiate this this food count here, because the flying machines at this point, okay, you've won the air battle, but who cares? Now you can't shoot down. I don't know if he has the upgrade yet, but the flying machines just flying around to see if are you building any more hips, bro?
Yeah, that's a very good point you make, though. With those bombs, you could start to pick off a potential expansion. If Moon is caught out of position, he will start to lose production. He'll start to lose expansions from this big, massive flying machine. So that's one piece of utility that Infi can get out of these, even if the air fight is going more to a ground fight. But the triple orb for Moon in these fights is so nice, especially with that Dark Ranger also wielding the orb. These things stack. These things do a lot of poison damage.
Yeah, Demon Hunter 5.2, almost level 6. This could be pretty big. Keeper's actually going to pick up level 5 from this small turtle camp that was left for the whole game, which is pretty exciting. Level 5 on the Keeper. He's going to be excited about that. And with no Dispel, you probably just go for Treants.
Yeah,
More
both
units.
options very good, but yeah, Treants are going to be picked up. And here's the bombs. Look at how much damage this does. The Roar, the Archers, the Orbs, though, are going to deal with those. And he's actually going to lose quite a few of those flying machines. But you see just how quickly that Tree of Life falls. And if you're forced to uproot it to get rid of that fortified armor against the flying machines, then you really start to lose a lot of economy. And we see Infi, in the meantime, on the back foot, is going for this middle expansion again, and the gold mine's exposed. Look at the damage.
This is so crazy. I mean, these hit and run tactics from Infi are buying him so much time in the middle of the map. Look at the tower. This is like, oh my, it's a cannon tower going up. This is pretty insane. If you can get this expansion up, this is your pretty much economy going into the super late game. Even if you take a bad fight, there's Griffins, there's D-Hawks though. And Moon wants to take a fight. The flying machines are a little out of position. They do shoot down this time, though. Infi waiting for the flying machines to come back home, but you definitely don't want to fly them over this ground army that's on the ground. This is 80 supply versus 80 supply, 84 versus 80. And Moon, again, cancels the tower, takes mid back.
This is so epic, man. The expansions are slowly but steadily running dry of gold, and if he gets one cannon tower up in the middle, all these Dryads are going to get destroyed by that. There's only, I think, one bear in the mixture, so that cannon tower will really put in work and help Infi secure that. But it takes so long to upgrade, and again, the flying machines, though, are buying a lot of time. Dark Ranger gets level 2.5, almost level 3, actually going into Black Arrow, interestingly, even though he's got that orb, but, you know, the silence is what was important in the past.
This is so tremendous how much value Infi has got from these flying machines. He's continuing to pick off buildings, continuing to pick off straggling units, and Moon has to respect them because look at the damage, like you said, that they do. This is crazy. I mean, he can literally go back into the base, and that's the thing about Dryad Archers. They're not very mobile. Like, flying machines can fly. That's the whole point. They're flying machines. And, like, they're so mobile. He might get the Shredder. He might get the mine. He can really get anything.
Yeah, in the expansion, we saw it a little bit earlier, 2,000 gold left for Infi. Moon got his a little bit later, so he's going to be at about 4,000. That's 600 gold a minute. So, you know, Infi had about 3 minutes left of economy as expansion, and then that middle base becomes very, very important. Whereas Moon, he could just walk his Tree of Life over for his expansion. He can walk his Tree of Eternity from the main, so the pressure's going to be on Infi, but right now, if he can continue working with these flying machines, that's a win condition in and of itself.
A town is under siege.
Moon decides, you know what, screw it, I'm going straight for the main base. Infi in the middle of the map, gonna contain the mid. Is he gonna be able to cancel that? Is that an AP going down at the mid, or is that a tree? Must be an AP.
Well, yeah, it has to be. Oh, that's a Tree of Life.
That's a tree! It's Moon just building it right in front of him. I'm just gonna build my tree here. You mind, bro? Infi's like, no problem, I'll build a couple cannon towers here. Do you mind? Here we go. Might be a fight. No dispel though. Look at the value of the tree ants. The tree ants can actually attack. Hardly ever see it with a couple priests. Flying machines going over the dryads, not very good idea. Infi's gonna lose a bunch of those. Here comes a fight now. Flying machines coming back into play. The Dark Ranger taking a lot of damage actually. Gonna have to back up. The Demon Hunter tanking so much damage. He's so close to level 6. He's gonna actually be able to get level 6. Level 3 of the Paladin.
Oh, wow. But those workshops getting so much value. He gets 3 mortar teams out because he was using those earlier to get the air superiority, but now he has the production ability to just produce mass mortar teams. And look at the archers falling. Look at the dryads falling. And Moon is forced to town portal out, and the expansion is canceled as well. And this looks like it's going to be 1-1. Infi is absolutely destroying, but the economy, always an issue. These expansions are about to run dry.
A town is under siege.
Yeah, the cannon tower's up. The arcane tower's up in a wonky position now. But the flying machines, there's still about 7, 8 of them. And they're like, I'm taking down a few more buildings before I go. I cannot believe that he's been able to survive with so many for so long. Moon has so much wood, but not enough money. It's going to be a money game now.
All right, 3,700. So Moon's got quite a bit more economy than Infi. I think Infi has about 1,000 left in his expansion gold mine. So Moon's going to be mining for another 4 or 5 minutes. So the pressure's going to be on Infi, but Infi has the army, the much bigger army at the moment. He's got the better army at the moment, and he's got almost the better heroes, but level 5.7 Demon Hunter Metamorphosis is on the way.
Infi just awkwardly holding the mid. The mid is going to be so important. More trees coming in. That's 2, 4, 6, 8. Carry the 1, 8 tree ents. Mana burn coming in as well. Demon Hunter super tanky at this point. Level 5, level 3 mana burn. And Infi's struggling to find a position he actually feels comfortable taking a fight with, despite having the food supply advantage. But the army for Moon is still pretty strong.
Cannon Tower did get up, but an undefended Cannon Tower might as well be an Ivory Tower. The Dryad's taking a little bit of damage, but not quite enough to really force them back. And the Roar is being popped. The Dark Ranger, level 3 in the back, is putting in work herself. There's still this fight for this middle base, Ricky. This is the name of the game on Concealed Hill.
This is crazy, and Moon's actually finding a way to build more units. In the meantime, the supply is even. Actually, Infi taking a step back for the first time in this game in a long time, and Moon is pushing Infi back after... I thought that was a devastating fight, maybe even GG, but
yeah,
Moon's
definitely
coming back, man. So much patience, and maybe that is the gold kicking in, because Infi's expansion... Dry as a bone. Moon's still kicking, and you said what? He's got about 2,500, maybe 28 left.
Yeah, it looks like Moon's doing this. That was such a good fight for Infi. His army looked dominating. He was up by 20 supply, but Moon just holding on, not allowing Infi to tower that middle base, not allowing him to get another expansion, which he crucially needed. And now the Demon Hunter is about to be level 6, Ricky.
Oh, he's so close. Level 6, there it is. Metamorphosis. Oh, look at that. GG's called right away, and Infi ties up the series 1-1. Oh, we're going to go the distance today, baby.
Wow. Yeah, and that's both games ending with an ultimate from Moon, baby.
Yeah, that's 2 ultimates in a row. We saw the Beastmaster, we saw the Demon Hunter, and Demon Hunter was actually a second hero, but that's pretty interesting. 1-1 series, Infi not going down without a fight. Wow, that was a crazy back and forth game. The fight for the mid, Carson. The fight for the mid.
Yes. And it's 2-0 for mid, by the way.
Oh, yeah, sorry, 2-0, yeah. What did I say, 1-1?
Yeah, you said 1-1.
Despite Moon winning? Yeah, lol.
Yeah.
No, I meant Moon 2-0.
Yeah, the fight for the mid, though, very, very important on Concealed Hill, just like the fight for that third base on Terran to Stand. That's the name of the game in Night Elf against Human. It's always who gets the economic advantage, and in both games, the player with the economic advantage, Moon having that expansion up longer, more gold in the late game, he wins the game. And in Terran to Stand, he had that second expansion, and that won him the game. And now going into Last Refuge is our third map. Again, sort of an expansion-based map, but in the later stages, it can be harder to get that second expansion rolling.
What do you do if you're Infi, man? Like, in that game, the Flying Machines had value. I feel like even though he was in a position where his army wasn't great, he still made it work. Moon is just so patient. That Demon Hunter did so much work. It's like, what do you do if you're Infi? How do you come back? How do you come back from being down 2-0? Like you said, it's do or die. If Moon wins the next one, or the one after that, or the one after that, Infi's gone, and he's playing his main race.
Yeah, can you reverse Sweet Moon? I mean, that's a pretty scary task, man.
Yeah, there's very few people in this game that probably can, and Infi's definitely one of them.
Yeah,
but LR, absolutely. What do you do on LR? I mean, LR is also a great Beastmaster map from Moon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely a lot of potential for Tavern Hero, a lot of potential for a Keeper of the Grove as well, for an all-in against that expansion. It will have to be an expansion play again. I just don't see one base working for Infi after how dominant Moon has showed that he's been. And that early game was so good. Like, we talk about the later stages, how Moon was able, like, we talk about him scraping by, but really, it was all Moon early game on Concealed Hill. It was all Moon.
Yeah, Moon played tremendous. I mean, every time Infi tried to wiggle away an advantage, Moon just came in and crushed him every time. Despite having, I mean, Infi took a really good fight in the mid, and Moon kind of got destroyed. All the ground units were dead. The mortar teams did absolute work. But just like the transition in the late game, like the later it got for Infi, the more stacked Moon's heroes got, and it just got out of hand. And Demon Hunter second, good unit.
Yeah, very, very good choice, the Demon Hunter second. Although, you know, level 5 Panda maybe would have put in just as much work, but the Demon Hunter is so good for that mana burn, so good for the control. And yeah, that was a very wacky game. You don't very often see that Dragonhawk Rider hit and run style into
no Sanctum
hit and run style. Yeah, no Sanctum, no Dispel against a Keeper of the Grove. Very wacky game. A lot of hippogriffs. Very interesting.
It's not even like you can study these two players. Like, when they play against each other, it's just magic happens. They do crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Never would have thought we'd see, like, yeah, he's just going to skip Dispel and all the casters. He's just going to go straight mad air, both air. And then Moon's going to go mass hips. And then we're just going to have an air battle into lore play. It's just crazy, man. I can't get over Moon's patience, though. His patience with just, like, falling behind, coming back, picking and it felt like Infi was the one aggressive too. Like, Infi was at the expansion, Moon had to respect it not once but twice with the teleports back, and just Moon just on top of his game, not falling behind. Losing that expansion probably would have won the game for Infi, I think, going into the later game. But I mean, both players are banking so well too, both banking together and breaking together. Like, the scouting is just tremendous from both players as well. We're really watching like the peak of Warcraft 3 right now.
Yeah, so it's easy to say, like, oh, both players, how long are they going to bank for? But that's a really good point. Both games, they were on point with when they broke. Both breaking at, like, the same amount of gold, almost the same time, knowing exactly when to do it. And also knowing what army to get. They weren't caught out. Like, Moon was not caught out by that air. He was ready for it. He had the winds ready. He had the hippogriffs ready. And he almost never didn't have air dominance until the flying machines came in.
Yeah, until the flying machines came. I mean, those flying machines, dude. Talk about value. I can't get over it. Usually, like, okay, little bit. They just die eventually. Yeah. But you don't get much out of it. Infi and Moon just so good at maximizing whatever they produce. And they can make one unit look like 5, you know? They're just so good. So dominant. If Infi wins, I think the score is 4-1 now, based on how I keep track of score.
Yeah, something like that.
Awesome. Right on. LR. What do we see on LR? Like I said, Beastmaster's an option. Could see standard.
Keeper's an option again. Probably we could see a similar game from last as well, but with a more dependence on the mid game. These two shops on Last Refuge, very important. Both players will have mercenary camp access as well, so lots of pressure. That's something we don't see on Concealed Hill, of course. No mercenary camps, so it's harder to all in the expansion if that's what Moon wants to go for. You can go for lots of archers, huntresses, mercenary support, Keeper of the Grove, and just AP rush that expansion if you want to. Whereas on Concealed Hill, not really an option. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
LR is a little smaller too. If you want to be a little aggressive, go across the map. Maybe creep jack early.
That sound freaks me out every time.
Does it really? Gives you the heebie-jeebies, eh?
It sounds like a door opening behind me.
Yeah, watch behind you, because we got game number 3, guys. It's going to be LR, Moon versus Infi. Let's go.
Be on your back like a knapsack.
On your back like a knapsack. I like that. I didn't know you were capable of rhyming. You're impressing me day by day, Carson. Day by day, you impress me. AOW. Oh, baby. Let's go. Style points enabled for Moon, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a tavern here. It's got to be Beastmaster again. Just going to close him out with style. Just going to open the door for him.
But my love opened the door, and Moon's love is going to close the door for Infi if he's able to clutch it out again with the Beastmaster. This is so cool, dude. These players are so good, man. They're so good.
Yeah, this is really good. We actually... I mean, if he does go Beastmaster, probably just a lot of archers, transition into bears, I would guess, unless both players decide to go into some crazy mass air stuff again, which I don't know what's going to happen. We really don't want to... You can't really fortune tell with these two players. They're so dominant, so good. We'll see what they... Oh, Mountain King.
Yeah, just as you're saying it, man, we see a Mountain King very unorthodox on this map, and also unorthodox is what Moon is going for. An ancient war creep at the mercenary camp. If this is scouted, it can be abused. There's a lot of creep camps. You can pull the Murlocs at the top, the green camp with a footman, really put a stop to this creeping from Moon. So it's really up to Infi to scout it and be ready for it.
Quick timing for Moon, right? He's going to grab his hero. He's going to go creep it right away, get level 2. And is there even a scout for Infi though? Footman going to the top.
Yeah, he's going to pull his own mercenary camp because the Mountain King, of course, needs that Shadow Priest for the healing, needs the Berserker later on for additional support. So maybe this is a counter from Moon to go for the mercenary camp. He knows there's not a Footman there to disturb his creeping because he knows that Infi is going for his own mercenary camp. Very, very high level stuff here.
So smart. Yeah, look at this. This is crazy.
The Wisp sees it, actually. You see the Wisp on the high ground there at the tail end. He's going to see the Mountain King run over. He's going to see the Militia if he was paying attention, and I'm sure Moon was paying attention. And will it be the Beastmaster? We see the hero has been picked up, and it is the Beastmaster yet again.
Beastmaster on LR to close out. Possibly a quick sweep for Moon. We'll see if it's going to pay off for him. Infi about to creep this rock golem very quickly. He's going to get level 2 really quick, and at this point, you just go across the map and be aggressive, because the timing for Infi is looking so sweet. You know what else is looking sweet? Devotion Aura.
Very, very nice item. And yeah, we see the Shadow Priest being picked up, a lot of damage tanked on that Mountain King, and that's why the Mercenary Camp is so crucial when you go for Mountain King first. And the Bear, also crucial for tanking this Mercenary Camp for Moon. What will he get? Sobi Mask. Oh my lord, I think that's nuts.
Come on, dude. More mana for the Beastmaster. I mean, if you're Moon, you're just laughing straight to the bank. This is so crazy. The winner of this, ladies and gentlemen, will move on to the semifinals. This is the quarterfinals. Best of 5. Match 3, obviously, but, I mean, so far, so good for Moon.
Oh, man. Okay, and will we see expansion against expansion? We see Infi's Militia being pulled at the top, and Moon is going to creep his own expansion. And both players going to be level 3. Both players going to be on 2 base, I imagine. But the pressure's really going to be on Infi. These summons, these mercenaries, potential for huntresses, archers. It's hard to deal with just a Mountain King with no water elemental support. You run out of mana on your Mountain King very early, and your Shadow Priests have no Brilliance Aura. So you can't get constant abolishes on the summons of Moon. You can get a second Shadow Priest, but since this first one has to heal up the Mountain King just so you can creep, you're going to really be on the back foot if you're defending an Infi shoes.
Yeah, the plus side for Infi though is if he can get defend right away, then he can push and actually start taking fights with just footies. Especially with the Mountain King having that bash, which he did go second. He could just start picking off archers if Moon's micro isn't up to par. So like the Infi might want to actually take fights into the mid game before tier 2. If he can get that defend right away. But like you said, the expansion going up, it's going to take some time. Obviously, defend costs a lot of economy. Very hard on wood.
Yeah, I think that's a crucial upgrade for Infi to get very early, maybe even before he techs, especially now that he sees the Beastmaster. I'm not even sure if he's scouted it up to this point. Maybe there was a footman in the main base, but here's the bear. And even if you know it's here, even if you're attacking it, it takes so long to deal with. There's an abolish, there's one more. Okay, he uses the last one, it looks like. Footman going to scout the counter expansion, and here's the Mountain King. We saw this on Terran to Stand, and it's already going to get the Shadow Priest a lot of pickoffs with that Stormbolt level 2.
Yep. Lot of pickoffs here, and like you said, the bear still picking off a peasant, even though he had like 3 hits on the unit. A little ridiculous, but the Mountain King finding value. Is he actually going to be able to cancel this? Infi might commit. This could be crazy. No way. No way. You have to back off. Okay. I was going to say, how long is he going to commit to that? He's going to lose this footy as well.
That's a lot of damage, though. A lot of damage on the expansion that Moon has taken. Sappers in the future. Flying machines we saw last game, or maybe just a run-by could deal a lot of damage. Moon's going to have to respect that and repair that Tree of Life, so the damage does cost a little bit. The bear trying to be surrounded, but not quite, so it might live, and that's a decent amount of experience that Moon is able to keep away from Infi's hands. And the second bear, it's so scary when the Beastmaster gets 2 bears out.
Look at Infi's position. The expansion is up and mining for Infi. And now Moon's on... yeah, like you said, he has to respect this. He has to stay at his expansion. Because at any time, Infi can just dive and cancel. Hunter's Hall going down to the main base. But like, look at the position that Infi... Infi is always in killer positions. How can you possibly come back from this as Moon? What is the play here? He's going to also take a fight. I don't know if Infi has defend yet.
That's probably what he's waiting for, I imagine. He's just teched, and it's a very early tech from Infi. Nice Wisp going to get a Dispel there. The bear can bash and can get some pickoffs, but there's no Dust of Appearance for Infi. So even if he might be in a position to kill some archers, I doubt Moon's going to let him get those without Dust, without a farm at the laboratory for reveal either.
Infi coming in. Just constantly going back and forth, and Infi doesn't care. He's expanded. His tech's going to be a lot slower. Just buying more time. Really not sure if he has defend yet, but one archer is going to go down regardless. And these are archers that you need for this fight. Like, Moon can't be losing archers like this, but when you have Bolt, it's pretty much impossible to not lose them. Another Bolt goes down, another archer dies. It's as simple as that. And Infi's going to TP out.
Oh, the pre-saved at the tail end, too, and those are crucial. Although they are out of mana at the moment, a lot of Dispels being used. There's actually a third one got picked up, too, that now has a fresh pot of mana. Fresh on the stove, but the other one, it's nice to save it. It will regenerate. It can't stay in the main base to deal with some sort of split summon harass. And the Mountain King going to heal up, getting more mana. And he got 2 free archers there with a couple of storm bolts. So he can just come right across the map again and continue to pressure like this.
Yeah, I really like that early TP. He probably could have got another archer or 2, but you know what? You're waiting for... You don't want to wait for more time for Moon to get tier 2 and maybe get a second hero or maybe defend a lot better. So just go home, grab your... clarity and your healing right away and just go. Go. He's actually creeping out the shop too at the same time. This is crazy. Mountain King almost getting really close to level 5.
You're getting so much value. And look at all the priests, man. The fact that he's kept those alive, they are so squishy, so hard to keep alive. And with that Bash Bear, and now the Beastmaster's gonna get surrounded with a bolt. That's a town portal and a half right there. Will there be a Shadow Priest pickoff? Will there be a unit killed before the town portal? The priest taking a lot of damage. Those are crucial for Moon to kill. He does get one, so getting a little bit of value in the end of that town portal, but a very nice surround from Infi.
And if Infi gonna clean up the rest of this shop, he's gonna be sitting at 4.6 maybe 4.7 before another fight takes place. Oh, level 5 Mountain King this early into the game would be scrumdiddlyumptious for Infi. And Moon's coming right back.
The Bash Bear, look at it, is gonna maybe get that Troll Berserker. A nice Dispel. Infi's nicely microing. The Demon Hunter is coming out again. He actually surrounds the bear. Very nice plays from Infi. But the Demon Hunter is going to come out, and with that, the mana burn will help to keep the almost level 5 Mountain King, like you point out, at bay.
Actually, a bolt on the Quill Beast, too. He's not wasting any chances here. He wants these units dead. They're nice, fresh experience. Look at the Mountain King's experience from those 2 summons right there. Almost 4, what is he, 4.8? And the camp's still there, I think.
And of course, that is the downside of playing Beastmaster. You feed a lot of experience to the first hero, and if it was an Archmage, it might not be the end of the world, but a Mountain King scales very well into the late game. Because you can't dispel the bolt, you can't dispel the bash, it's always going to be there, it's always going to be dealing damage. And it's going to be level 5 now, and there's the level 3 Stormbolt.
Oh, he might actually... Beastmaster a little out of position right now. Mountain King doesn't have a bolt yet, but with the Blood Mage here, he will very, very soon. Does he just go straight across for the Beastmaster? No, going to play a little bit more defensive. There is a Demon Hunter as well for Moon for mana burn. But it's level 1, Carson.
Yeah, those second hero timings are crazy. Both players went for fast expansions, and then both players still get their techs and their second heroes at the same time. They both run across the map right away. So high level. Here's the lures. We see the bears are coming out, but you definitely don't want to bring those boys too far across the map until they are master, until they are in bear form, because that Stormbolt level 3, man, look at it pick apart the archers.
Yeah, archers at this point just completely expendable.
A player's
I mean, even that Demon Hunter level 1 is so vulnerable to these Stormbolts. This is level 3 Stormbolt. And look at this, Infi. He's going to take the battle to him. More towers. I love this play. We hardly see human players do this anymore. Utilize the towers to get a nice... oh, look at the rifle transition as well.
Oh, Beastmaster has a town portal, but Infi always threatening the surround, and the footmen, the militia, putting in a lot of work. The first rifle coming in, and Ogre Mauler as well. Some mercenaries being picked up and constantly bolting these summons. He knows the archers aren't strong. He knows that one berserker isn't too strong. It's these quill beasts, it's these bears that are putting in a lot of the damage for Moon, so he just constantly stormbolts them.
Blood Mage full mana, might be passing that to the Mountain King as well. Gonna take a little bit more from the Beastmaster first, might as well. But this push is still looking very scary. 61 supply for Infi. And Moon, does he have the patience? Does he have the ability to hold here? Just looks like he has units that are just one bolt, one death. I mean, how do you hold this if you're Moon?
The Mountain King, yeah, it's just putting in so much work, and maybe this is just a straight-up counter going the Mountain King against the Beastmaster, because you know you're going to get fed to this level 5, and we see the strength of the level 5 before there's a big tier 3 army. We see one bear, another one can be morphed, the third one can be morphed as well, so Stormbolt a little less effective, but this level 5 Mountain King has gotten so much value already, and we see it on the Demon Hunter. Look at the damage. Is there a bash? Will it go down? Staff could be passed, but the Demon Hunter being blocked as well. Oh, it just barely gets out.
Oh, no, it doesn't!
The long range, and it dies, and that's the second hero dead for Moon, and the pressure's really on now, Ricky.
And he doesn't have clap, but this Mountain King is still going to go ham sandwich. And that, I mean, Moon, you need the Demon Hunter to at least mitigate some of this Mountain King, but this is almost a fully maximized Mountain King here. 5.6 Mountain King, almost level 6. This is a really good timing for Infi. They're starting to, the bear count's starting to raise though, starting to rise up. Mountain King taking a little bit more damage than he wants to. And when you don't have clap, then you really have to rely on focusing one unit at a time with that bolt. So maybe this could go in Moon's favor.
Yeah, Moon's slowly holding on. The Demon Hunter will be back in no time, just level 1, but triple Arcane Tower. That's pretty good against these summon bears, and also good against the units themselves. They have a lot of mana, they take a lot of extra damage from the feedback, but right now, Moon has the tech advantage, and there's a lot of footmen and a lot of mercenaries that are here for Infi. So if Moon can hold on, he's going to have the much better, much stronger army.
Yeah, and this position looks like he's just staying on tier 2 with the expansion, but he's actually teching to tier 3 as well. Nice mana burn coming on the Mountain King. I don't think the Mountain King has any more... Oh my god, he's got a mana pot. Pops it right away. There's another bolt possibly on the Demon Hunter, and there's a bolt, and the Demon Hunter goes down again!
Oh my god, look at the positioning for Infi. Look at these Arcane Towers. They're putting in so much work. And in these wars of attrition, the Moon Juice is going to be dry, and if the bears are dry too, how do you heal up these heroes? How do you heal up the Beastmaster if it does eat a bolt or two? And look at the positioning. He's constantly behind these towers. Moon going for a flank. We see those 3 bears at the top. Very nicely done for Moon. And he's starting to get surface area. And he might actually be forcing Infi out of here. This is a monster position, but the bolt on the Beastmaster levels up to level 5, and he will town portal out. There is a rejuve over top, but that is probably the expansion going down.
Wow, Infi holds. Moon TP's out again. And this is still... I mean, the... supply changed drastically. Infi lost a lot of units here, but he still might be able to get this expansion killed. It's not mining right now, and if he can kill this while holding this position, this could be really good. I really like the flank from Moon. I was gonna say the Infi's clunky units were stopping Moon from getting that surface area with these bears, but then for some reason he skipped it, and now the bears are just getting... Look how many bears there are. There's so many bears.
So many, and he pulls all the wisps from the main base, and we see him repairing that Tree of Life. This is so nicely held so far from Moon. The Demon Hunter is exposed again, but he did have potions from before, still has one, and the anti-magic. The bears are trying to get in. They're trying to clobber down these towers that are protecting the top positioning. The Demon Hunter falls for the third time. There's always a Storm Bolt, Ricky. There's always a Storm Bolt.
So many Storm Bolts, and I think if these bears don't get something done really quick, they're going to start falling. One goes down right away. That's level 6 on the Mountain King, and that's Cosmodon, baby. Level 6 Mountain King right now. Look at the damage he's doing to the bears. He's so strong, so tanky, and with this Blood Mage, he's just got mass mana. He's got the shop, just unlimited mana pots, and he's going to be able to hold this. And if he holds this, he's going to break this, and if he breaks this, he finally beats Moon.
Oh my god, what a game. There's always a Storm Bolt. The shop is helping out quite a bit, like you said. The Beastmaster, level 5.7, but if there's always a Storm Bolt, there's never a Stampede from that Beastmaster. The Mountain King taking quite a bit of damage, but there's potential for health potions. How many kills has the Storm Bolt got in this game?
So many. The Quillbee's still doing damage as well for Moon, but there's just like the fact that Infi got that shop up is just so huge. So many mana. I think he bought like 4 mana pots and just waited for the cooldown, and it was just so worth it.
And this isn't even all in either. We see the tier 3 kicking in for Infi. We see the Paladin coming out. The expansion lives for Moon, which is incredible that he was able to.
I cannot believe that Moon still has the expansion up. It's not mining, but why is it still up right now?
And the Demon Hunter is still level 1. The Demon Hunter dies 3 times in a row. 1.4. I think it's been 1.4 since the hero came out. They crept 1 camp, and that's it. It's just died immediately, but the Beastmaster's been soaking up all the experience, and now he's got level 6, and he actually gets Stampede, which is interesting, because Moon knows he's behind. He knows his expansion is very exposed. He knows that Infi is probably going to be pushing it soon, and with Stampede, he can force Infi to go back. He can force Infi to respect the hit and run. So that's a smart choice from Moon.
I feel like Moon just lost 7 bears, and when the cameraman goes to the army, he's got 7 bears again.
Yeah.
His macro is just incredible. For some reason, he still has a supply lead despite losing every single unit to bolts after bolts after bolts. Moon is not stopping without a fight, and here we go. It's actually Moon sieging Infi after taking a devastating fight. Carson, what are we watching?
Oh my god, the town portal back. There's so many bears here, though. And the army looked scary for Infi when he was behind those 3 arcane towers with the shop, and Moon could not get surface area. But now the anti-magic potion and the Stampede against the expansion. The bears are putting in work. Is he going to kill this expansion?
Come on, this is not possible.
He staffs out of the expansion and cancels it, but Moon gets the expo, Ricky. What the hell is happening?
Infi's at 34 supply. He's plummeting. He only has a Mountain King right now. The Mountain King is just his whole army. I cannot believe. Moon's like, screw it, dude. I'm just going to keep building units. I'm going to kill all yours. The Mountain King is good, but it's not good enough. Is it going to die? The Paladin's here. This is crazy. Moon's actually going to do this.
God. What, and how does the supply swing? We were talking about how the army looks scary behind the towers, but really the bears are much stronger, much higher tech, are very good against those rifles, the footmen, the mercenaries. And yeah, Infi couldn't break the expansion, and now Moon breaks his expansion with that level 6 Beastmaster. And the Demon Hunter is finally living, it's finally leveling up, and it is 2.3, and the bears are in the main base.
What is Infi gonna do? Moon is literally walking into your base, bro. This is incredible. One of the sickest games I've ever seen from Moon. I don't even know where he got the units or the economy. The expansion wasn't even mining. GG is called. What an incredible game. Moon does it 3 straight.
Dude.
I'm blown away. I am blown away. I cannot believe it.
Are we stupid, or was Moon just losing the game until he
I
just ran across
swear
the
to God he lost 7 bears. I think he stabbed 2. I have one of the craziest games I've ever seen on LR. It was, Infi had like no army, but his Mountain King was just doing crazy work. Moon with the macro. I guess he just made it work. I really don't know. Couldn't tell ya.
Oh my God.
And just like that, Moon is into the semifinals. Infi eliminated 3 straight games.
Yeah, what an unbelievable performance from Moon. Like, Jesus.
I don't even know. I don't even know. He lost all his units. He got
the Starbolt
owned.
was putting in work. The Demon Hunter dies. Okay, this is how long the push went. This is how many units Moon was losing. The Demon Hunter comes back, dies. Demon Hunter comes back, dies. Demon Hunter comes back, and then the push ends. So 3 revives on the level 1 hero. That's how long that push lasted. And in the meantime, Infi wasn't losing much at all. Moon was losing bear after bear after bear, archer after archer after archer, investing potions, investing wisps, not mining at the expansion, repairing the expansion. And somehow, after all of that, Infi's on 2 base the whole time, teching tier 3, safe and sound with the towers at the expo. Moon just turns around and just kills him.
3 straight. I feel like that happened on Concealed Hill too. I don't know if like I need to get my eyes checked, but it looks like Infi's winning fights and losing games. Like, how do you do that against? You're playing Moon. You're winning fights and losing games. It's so crazy. Moon is looking scary as hell right now. Going into the semifinals. I don't want to be Fly. I don't want to be Colorful. I don't want to be anybody. Just crazy.
No, I don't want to play him. I want to go home. I want to just crawl into my bed and sleep. I don't want to play him. I don't want to just don't give me the
Unbelievable.
Beastmaster.
That was one of the greatest series I've ever seen, just based on how Moon performed. I mean, that game 3 was so good. Game 2 was great. 2 Beastmaster openers to close out a best of 5, 3-0. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that was incredible. That was incredible, and we said it was going to be. I mean, Infi versus Moon, what more can you ask for? And, like, hats off to Infi. He played very well. That wasn't, like, we're talking about how well Moon played because he did it against Infi, man. Like, Infi is no slouch. He played very, very well. He even had a strategy in mind. He had the Mountain King level 5 very early to, I think, actually counter the Beastmaster, is why he went Mountain King on last Refuge. So hats off to both players, but Moon's just on another level, man.
Looks like we're going to go into a bit of a break, and then we'll come back in a bit, guys, with Michael and 120. I don't even know how to hype this up anymore. This is just great, guys. If you're tuning in, the games have been fantastic. We'll be right back.
공식적으로 복귀 신고를 할 수 있게 돼서 무한 도전 아니냐.
야, 이거 방향키 보다가 볼일 다 보겠다. 야, 뭐야? 아,
야, 패스 하나 올려와. 아, 어디 가는 거야? 아, 조용히. 오케이.
진짜 마스터한다, 이거.
So crazy, guys. So crazy. Moon 3-0ing Infi. We got 120 versus Michael next. Oh boy.
샌드위치입니다.
네.
여기가 중요한 게 아니라 아래서 올라오고 있는 워든이라든가 요 병력이 헛포인트거든요.
자 문제는 블러드에 있는 판단은 맞아요 영삼 선수가 이게.
이가 있기 때문에
이거 한번 막으러 가자. 일루전.
자 그래서 여기서 진짜냐 누가 진짜냐
그리고 잘하고 있는 거는 영삼 선수가
네.
지금 일부러 일꾼을 넣어가지고.
까지 못 올라와요 잘.
자 근데 문제는 너무 세가지고
그러나
그냥
마지막이니까 안녕하세요.
이거
2013년도에 보셨죠? 2013년에 보셨죠?
에라이
근데
세
이게-
개가 완성이 되면 좀 위험해지거든요.
근데 이게 아예 말도 안 돼. 이거는 어떻게 이겨 이게 아니라 이게 실제로 세요. 아버타임을 바꾸는 경우가 있는데 근데 어차피 주지. 일단 빅스라이더는 먼저 잡혔고요.
옥진영 팀좀 없어요.
맞아요. 더스 일단 뿌리고 여기서 하나 더 잡고 훅 찍고
이거
다음은요. 핀드.
해놓고.
네. 이거 못 살리고.
이거 플라이가.
네.
저도 잘 싸웠네요.
전투로 잡아냅니다. 띄우고 나서요.
이거는-
설마 했어요.
이거!
전투하면 플라이입니다.
까먹고 있었다. 그래갖고 무슨 운동부 전배 같은 느낌으로 너무 쳐요.
그래서 원스톱프 일단 사일런스 하지만 정말 크긴 것 같죠. 원스톱프
중간 제대로.
네.
자, 3영웅은 다 걸렸죠. 지금 이 처리하면은 지금력에서 확실히 떨어집니다.
이거 너무
다 맞았어요.
리치 때렸어요. tum조심.
자,
tum조심이었었는데. 돼요?
야!
돼요? 안 돼요.
그럼 죽어요!
다리를 끼고 싸우고 있기는 한데
지금
안쪽으로 많이
사이런스,
들어왔고요.
비트 스크롤,
빈센 스크롤까지 쓰면서 그치 좀 풀려 보낼 수 있나요 이거?
팩스는 리치를 때리겠다는
자, 리치.
얘기인데
자,
크리티컬
리치.
222 리치 전사와
결국 이렇게 되면은 돌려 보내는 것도 성공합니다. 이거 몰라요.
와!
A player's forces
와,
are under
킬각!
attack.
야, 우리도 만만치 않네요.
저 그리고 트롤을
템 들어왔어요! 지금 이거 박준 선수 안에서 할 수가 없죠. 박준 선수.
이러면
템이
템이 없잖아요.
이게 깔끔하게 죽어요.
이거는
필요 없어요, 생각에. 무도 필요 없이 그냥 핀로드 그리고 섀도우한테 만화냐 그게 제일 중요할 것 같아요.
섀도우한테 만화량을
박준 선수가 상당히 안 좋아요.
이거는 안 좋아요. 이거는 많이 안 좋은 게 맞아요.
네, 이거
많이
레이더가
안 좋은 게
그냥
맞습니다.
그거만 두면 돼요.
이건 많이 안 좋은 게 맞아요. 흰노드 상황은 GG죠.
근데 저거 더스트가 스모크 더스트잖아요. 저 와드잖아요. 네, 이거 일부러
네. 이거 기다렸다가
밀리처럼 살짝 돌고 있었던 거라고 봐야
그렇죠.
되고요.
자 아래쪽 라인도 영웅들이 어느 정도로 이제
오!
비벼놨습니다.
제대로 봐야 돼요.
자 거기다가 뒤쪽에 스로울들도 열심히 같이 싸워놓고 있어요.
그리고 지금은 장재원 선수 입장에서는
맞았어요. 자 70 말씀하시는 순간 인구수 동률. 뒷라인 트라이어드 일단 뒤쪽으로 빠지면서.
자, 근데 이게 마킹이 빠진 상태이기 때문에 발라지 무장한 상태.
그리고 자 위쪽.
저 스카를 타가지고
어디로
싸운다.
탔죠?
이거
아래로 탔네요.
싸워요.
자 위치가 그렇게 썩 좋지는 못하고요.
자, 스탠드만 스탠드. 뒤로 와.
엄청 터진다. 요요요요요요.
아이 스탬피드를 저렇게 공격형으로 잘 보는데 오버 시작.
네.
자, 이거
위치 기가 막히게 들어가면서 아직까지 보이를 쓸 수 있는 만화가
라인이
이걸 살이 네. 자 아직까지 뒤쪽이 살아있습니다.
인피를
이거 빨아주고
그냥 영웅 쪽으로 그냥 써줍니다.
네. 크게 밀리지는 않으면서 오크도 잘 싸웠습니다. 끼고 있기 때문에 근데 이것도 얘기 다르죠. 이거 죽으면 얘기 다르죠.
1패.
와, 착하시면 언데드 입장에서는 일단 좋은 위치긴 해요.
자, 인피.
자, 그래도 하고 나서 빠져도 되는데 일단 워스톱부터 무섭하죠. 위치 잡고 네네네네. 네.
이거만 기대하면 됩니다.
그렇죠.
자, 영웅놀이기.
점차 들어가죠.
자, 근데 친구 오래맨인데 정말 안 가면 죽어요.
이렇게 말이죠. 사랑합니다. 리치가 다 잘랐어요.
자, 이거 한번 더. 이거 제대로 가자. 저희가 워낙에 기본적으로 상성이 없는 딜이다 보니까
와야 돼.
이 털을 쳐요, 이 털을.
와야 돼요.
이거 그냥 무시하고
영웅만 때려서 어떻게 돌려보내셔야 돼요. 영웅만 터질 것 같은데.
이거 패논 나이프로 한 번에 다 먹을 수 있는 사냥법이죠? 잠깐만. 하나, 스틸은 했어요, 프리스트로.
1.9, 1.7. 오!
자,
나요? 베놈 나이프.
미리 일단 딜을 해놓겠다.
네.
오, 자, 이건 블링크 써가지고 돌아야 돼요.
그렇죠.
네, 이거밖에 없어요.
자, 유일한 일꾼
잡아놓고.
오!
대포.
돌려주고 볼트 맞고 한 번 더 돌릴 수 있는 타이밍.
네.
또 원하는 타이밍 아닌데요. 들어가서
안
흡수 포션. 자, 강제어택.
체크까지
강제어택. 강제어택. 안 되나 들어서.
딱딜. 생처리 스태프도 막 못쓰게 하는 그런 것도 있네요.
그럴 수 있겠네요. 다시 한번 베니시 걸린 상황에서 일단 뒤쪽으로 빠집니다. 그리고 나서
걸린 상황에서 돌려고
네,
들어가고 안티메지 포션
이렇게 되면
힐이 들어가도 문제예요 지금.
생초리 스텝은
블링크로 오히려 들어가가지고 저기 비벼주는 것도 괜찮은 방법이고요.
네.
자
그래도
돌고
막아내줘야
푸드메이션
드라이어드와 탈론이 일단 GG.
공식적으로 복귀 신고를 할 수 있게 돼서 무한 도전 아니냐.
야, 이거 방향키 보다가 볼일 다 보겠다. 야, 뭐야?
야, 패스하라고 올려와. 어디 가는 거야?
조용히. 진짜 마스터한다, 이거.
We are back for another great series. I still can't get over the one we just watched, Moon vs. Infi. It was one hell of a banger, but we are back with an undead mirror, Carson.
Undead mirror and two of the best, two of the greatest, two legends. A more recent legend and then a more old school legend under a new name. We got Michael and we got 120. Yeah, this should be a banger as well, man. This will be very, very high level.
Yeah, both of these two in Asia, easily top undeads. There's Shao Kai, there's PCG, but I would definitely say that Michael and 120 are definitely the undeads that are making ground in actual events. Yeah. They very rarely played together, or against each other rather, but when they do, man, they are extremely close games. So, is my body ready for another best of 5 series? And that was only a 3-0. Can you imagine if they went 5 games? But these guys might go 5 games because they always have close series.
Absolutely. Yeah, and especially in Criplord meta, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but Michael showing some promise with the Criplord, with the big fat beetle. Will 120 adapt? How is he going to play against it? A lot of the times in Europe, you do see, Death Knight against the Criplord, or sometimes a Criplord mirror, sometimes Death Knight mirror, but we'll have to see how they play it in Asia. A little bit interesting. That's always the big question. When's the expansion going up, and what hero are they going?
Yeah, there's so many variations, right? Like we talk about the Lich openers, the Crypt Lord, the Death Knight. So many options with this matchup in particular, Mirror. And it depends on really if the player wants to play an expansion and go for late game just mass, or if you want to play aggressive and open Ted Fiends or Lich, or it makes for really exciting games, especially in a best of 5. I'm really interested to know what Michael's plan is, as well as 120 on how they want to beat each other. Best of 5, winner goes to the semifinals, and I mean, you pretty much say that you're the best undead in the tournament.
Yeah, for sure. And as weird as it sounds to say, I think Cryptlord Mirror is very, very exciting. Lots of hit and run, lots of beetles going into the economy, lots of low economy games. People lose a bunch of acolytes, they lose a lot of units. It can be very exciting. So I'd like to see that if we can get that at least one game. But 120 is always full of tricks, just like Moon kind of. He's like the equivalent for Undead, what Moon is for Night Elf. He always has lots of weird strategies. We've seen him go Lich Fast Fiends before in Undead Mirror. He's played Dreadlord in Undead Mirror, a very wacky player. So lots of options for both players. Should be very exciting.
We hardly ever see Cryptlord Mirror. It's always when one player goes Cryptlord, someone goes DK or something. And I think at the beginning of the meta, it was like very common for like Cryptlord. Nobody really knew how to handle it. But then now players are starting to understand how to beat it with even DK openers, standard. Yeah, guys, you're reading this correctly. 3-0 for Moon in those games. If you just missed them, you gotta go back. You gotta go back and watch them when you get a chance. They were absolutely incredible. And now on to 120 against Michael. The road for both players. A loss to Che Miko for 120, but he's out. Other than that, it's been a win, especially a win against Moon. Interesting 2-1. And then Lucifer, also known as Michael, also losing to Colorful, who's also having a Cinderella story in this tournament so far.
Yeah, a lot of underdogs, and I think Michael arguably the underdog in this match. And Moon, of course, in WCGs historically always the underdog. So, maybe it's all the underdogs making it through, man. Fly beating Lin, the underdog there. So Michael, he's got a good shot if the tournament story unfolds how it has been.
Maps are very interesting too. LR, Amazonia, TS to start the first 3. Very interesting map choices. I love LR Udemir. I love watching it. Amazonia, always really good to see what they do with the lightning shield creeps, how they want to creep up their heroes, or if they just go for the aggressive. Obviously, Amazonia is a very small map. And then, of course, TS. There's got to be Cryptlord on TS. There's got to be Cryptlord. Come on, we're getting at least one of them.
Yeah, we'll probably get a Death Knight Mirror on Amazonia. You can also go Lich. Not too bad for Lich. I'd be interested to see if they do prefer to go Lich when they know their opponent may go Death Knight, or if they prefer to go for Lich when they know their opponent may go for Cryptlord. We're talking about Amazonia, very much a Death Knight map. Terranistan, very much a Cryptlord map. So you can kind of metagame around those hero choices. Very interested to see how these top undeads do this, because we see a lot of Europeans. X-Lord against Happy, we have Entei, we have Juan, we have lots of European undeads who sort of have their own meta established. But in Asia, they've always played a little bit different. They do play based off what Happy does very commonly, but when they're against each other, they play each other a lot of games in a lot of tournaments. So maybe they have their own little meta game established.
Yeah, it's definitely a different realm once you get into the Asian games. That's definitely a fact. It's what separates them, really. It's what makes them the idols, the players that kind of change the meta and have even top players in the Western scene admiring them and always going to them for the answers, because they just change everything and they're just so professional. They take it seriously and they're just so good. But yeah, really going to see Lucifer's style. He's very aggressive, very good with ghouls. Very good control ghoul user even back in the day. So a lot of undead mirrors, they tend to go straight to fiends. We might see a lot of ghoul openers today, especially if a lich opener, which is in his repertoire. 120 though is so tricky, so good. His ability to hold even aggressive pushes from an undead player, he's so good. He just holds. It's like Moon all over again, like what we saw. So really interested to see. I wonder, who do you think 120 is the clear favorite in this series?
I think so. We were talking to the chat a little bit during the break, and they were saying the same. Everyone was going
a lot of 120 fans. A lot of 120 fans. Yeah.
It's sort of like the old guard against the new school. 120 being the new clear best undead in the world, arguably with Happy, but Happy's a little bit more new school as well. Whereas Michael, also known as Lucifer in the past, along with players like Mad Frogs, Syria, players like those were the old guard of the undead race. So very interesting.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like, you talk about the old versus new, and I feel like Michael, you know, right before the name change even, he was struggling to kind of compete in the scene. He was very good. He was always competing, but he just struggled to get into the top 16, even top 12. Now he's breaking through quarterfinals, top 8. He's actually playing so good. He's beating a lot of really good players. Obviously, knocking out TH, knocking out Focus, playing so good. He's playing tremendous. He's beating the best players in the game right now. So now he's got 120. He's got the Undead phenom right now. I mean, 120 is literally carrying the meta along with Happy. I would say that 120 is carrying the Asian scene, whereas Happy's carrying the Western. So can Michael actually get it going on WCG? This is the big stage. This is the major. This is where you get it going. So we'll see.
Yeah, Michael in the past has been very strong. From what I've seen of him, it's always like in one matchup. You know, like a couple of years ago, he was very strong against Orc specifically. He'd take a lot of series off of Fly, a lot of series off of Lin. And now recently, he seems to have been really strong against Human. And then he's already beaten TH, like he said, 2-1. He beat Focus 3-0, so proving he's strong in both those matchups still. Losing to Colorful, but he doesn't have to face a Night Elf today unless 120 is looking to do some off-race shenanigans, which he has in the past against Happy. But, they're playing Undead. Who are we kidding?
Yeah, this must be an Undead Mirror. Like, in small cups, it's nice to, like, off-race, and we get to see, like, wow, some players are really good with random in other races, but World Cyber Games, I don't think you leave it to chance. I think you go straight Undead Mirror, and I enjoy watching Undead Mirror. I'm really excited for this series. I think it's very intrinsic. There's a lot of really good windows where you can lose the game right away if you're not careful. You have to be on your toes. It can make for it's never a boring game. And there's the music. The music heard around the world. I think we're getting ready. LR, Undead Mirror. No more time wasted, guys.
Oh, man. Okay. We got Colorful, we got Fly, we got Moon. Will we have 120 or will we have Michael?
Is that perfect race distribution? No, double elf.
Double elf. Always got to be 2 of something, right?
Absolutely. Looks like we have a Ted Fiends opener for 120. We talk about what strat variation are these players going to do. Obviously, there's so many options. Looks like both players opening Ted Fiends, but what is the hero of choice?
Yeah, will we start on Last Refuge with a Death Knight Mirror? Very exciting, very exciting. We're talking so much about the hero choices. What if they just Death Knight Mirror for 5 games, Ricky? It could happen.
It could happen. Also very exciting. Comes down to micro, comes down to creeping, who's going to get the better items. And on LR, there are some juicy items that can definitely sway the game in the other favor. What are some of the options, especially at the Merc Camp?
Yeah, Merc Camp, you can get the Flute of Accuracy, very crucial. Of course, the Lich items. We talk a lot about Undead players, always talking about their items. In Europe, we were talking to X-Lord. He said, I think Undead Mirror is just fully determined on those Lich items, getting those Claws of Attack, getting those Mantles of Intelligence, stacking that Lich up, getting those auras as well, like we were just talking about, Devotion Aura, Flute of Accuracy, the Endurance Aura from these red camps on the high ground on Last Refuge, very crucial.
Yeah, and we tend to see, like, especially when Undead players go Crypt Lord, sometimes when you open Ted Fiends, you'll just go straight across the map and try to be aggressive. So we might actually see that instead of both players creeping their greens respectively, one of them, or even both of them, could go across the map to try to be aggressive because they don't know what the opponent's doing. It looks like
absolutely.
120's with the first scout. He's going to see Ted Fiends, but I don't think Lucifer's scout. Has
Maybe
Lucifer
not
scouted?
yet,
I
yeah.
don't think so.
Yeah, they both have acolytes in the main bases. Both
Oh, yeah, they do.
critters,
Okay, yeah, the Acolyte.
yeah.
Okay. Could barely see it there, but yeah. Okay,
They're both waiting to see the heroes. Of course, you need to see what this hero is because there's sometimes some trickery with the build orders. Both players are going to see the Death Knight, and both players are going different directions. Looks like 120 is going to go up to the priest, going to get his skeletons, whereas Michael is going the standard route, going to the left to his priest. So maybe there's going to be a battle over this first creep camp. Both players have the death coil. Both players have the last hit potential, but who's got the quicker trigger finger?
Yeah, we talked about this. One player could go aggressive, try to steal the other player's experience, essentially drink their milkshake, And looks like 120 is going to try to get the coil on the last unit, but he actually right-clicks.
Yeah, the skeleton getting a little bit unfortunately ensnared there, so the experience will go to Michael, getting that 1.1 Death Knight, and the advantage goes to him. One skeleton is low for him as well, though, so 120 could return the favor, but now the priest has healed itself up. There is a couple of skeletons in the main base pressuring this tech. You don't want to lose one of those acolytes. That's the name of the game in Undead Mirrors. Always killing those acolytes, always doing run-bys, always doing harassment.
Yeah, this is actually a really good choice for 120 because you can kind of force a Nerubian, which is the case. Forces the Nerubian there for Michael, not wasting any time. Both players going to tech, and can these Skellies actually get some damage done? You don't want to lose an Acolyte, that's for sure. Coil's coming in for Michael, very on point. And the Skellies at this point...
That's surrounded.
Oh, no.
It's surrounded. Will he get it? Oh, he pops it out on the gold mine. Very nicely done from Michael there, but that was close to losing an Acolyte during tech. He does have the Scout Acolyte somewhere, which he could have brought back, but that would have still been a lot of gold lost.
Yeah, very interesting. We see that with Harvesters. If you go to the mine, you actually cut through surrounds if you're a Harvester, which is really interesting. Also works with Undead, going straight to the gold mine. Very nice play from Michael. He's going to keep that Acolyte alive. A lot of players don't know about that trick. Well, save your unit. Maybe save your life.
Maybe save your life. And actually, a Ziggurat canceled at the tail end with those skeletons, so a little bit more damage done there, but a lot of skeletons committed for 120. We see he's only got one charge left, and he uses that last charge. But all the time the Acolytes are running around, Michael's not mining, so it's a little bit of a gold edge for 120 so far.
Yeah, 120's playing so aggressive, and if he sticks around, he's got this Fiend. I don't think he has any more charges on his rod. No, he doesn't. So I was going to say maybe just creep on Michael's side while you're over here, but you know, he's feeding a lot of Skellies, 1.4 in the Death Knight. That means if he creeps the green camp, he might get really close to level 2, if not get it already. In fact, I think he will get it.
Yeah, what do you do if you're in 120's position now? You got no rod, you can't creep anything, you're stuck on Michael's side of the map, and you just have to stick around and see if you can coil steal something, because you have to go all the way back to your base, get skeletons, start creeping, and in the meantime, Michael's going to already be done a big camp by then.
Oh, Naga push. He wants to be way more aggressive. Here's the answer. I'm just going to keep pushing you. Naga second. This is so good. And he can actually get full map control at this point. It's until Michael decides to go for a second hero, but right now you cannot push if you're Michael's case. You don't want to lose a Fiend. The Frost Arrow, very good.
And with that, 120 is going to secure the expansion of Michael, and that's the first camp at Hull, in fact, taken for either players. This has been a very aggressive early game. No Rod of Necromancy, like we said, so a little bit of damage tanked, but the item has been picked up. We talked about the items in Undead Mirror. There's a Circlet of Nobility. The Lich is coming out for Michael, so his second hero will follow as well. And yeah, the Naga, not too uncommon recently, but it will be exposed in the later stages to a nuke, to a Coil Nova, so Banshees, look to see him research for 120.
120 getting Wand of Illusion, very nice item. He's actually going to use it on the Naga. This is just so good for 120 because he's stealing all the nice items from the camps. He doesn't have to necessarily creep them all, but he's getting the good items. So these are items that Michael probably would have wanted, especially in Fiend Mirror. A couple illusions never hurt nobody. And here we go.
Taking the cheese from the bread. That's what Grubby says. You gotta take the cheese from the bread, get the item, scoop it up, put it on your Naga. Get those auto attacks in, baby.
Yeah, very good. He's continuing to creep with 3 Fiends. Michael, on the other hand, is got 2 Fiends and his Lich is out now. Lich versus Naga really depends on how you use that Nova, because the Cold Arrow the Frost Arrow is so good on that Naga, especially if you target fire a Fiend, especially if Michael doesn't have enough coils, enough mana. You don't want to lose units this early into the game. It's almost devastating. The Naga for 120 being so annoying. Just an illusion though, bro, and I think he knows that by now.
Yeah, not using any nukes on that. There's a tier 3 tech. Should be pretty much the same for both players. There was a little bit of harassment into Michael's base earlier, but it didn't slow down the tech at all, so both players will have their orb soon, and I imagine Michael will get, or 120 rather, will get his Lich with orb. At the same time, the question is, what third hero will Michael get? Just Dark Ranger? Stick to your guns, stick to the standard? I wonder. Oh no.
Not now. Not like this.
Not like this. A little bit of lag, but we switch over. And look at that. Production on point. Beautiful, beautiful people behind the scenes. Look at them go.
Right on. Feels
3
good.
circlets. 3 circlets. 3. 3
Yeah,
of them.
it's That's a lot. That's
3
more.
of 'em.
That's a lot of circlets. That Naga is super tanky. But the thing is, like you mentioned, now that 120's picked the Naga, you almost have to go Lich third. But if you're Michael, there is variation. You know, you can also go Naga third. You can go Dark Ranger. You can go Naga third, Dark Ranger. And yeah, it really opens up variety for you. So we'll see what Michael wants to do. In the meantime, just creep, creep, creep. And different variation in creeping. Michael doing the lab, whereas 120 is doing the Merc Camp. The item of choice being Boots of Call for Loss.
It's Quaff loss and then an Anka reincarnation for Michael. So both players not really getting the cream of the crop in terms of the items from those big camps, but the experience is what's important at the end of the day. The Lich getting close to level 3. The Naga is about 1 kill away from level 3. And that'll be nice. Level 2 Fork Lightning, potentially. The nuke will be huge with that Nova in the future. And the red camp now up for grabs for both players, but Michael's going to snag his first.
And Michael's going to snag this super quickly because he's got that Orb of Corruption, whereas 120 does not right now.
Oh,
Level 3 on the, oh, is that plus 12? Oh, that's plus 12 for the Lich!
we're talking about the items, baby, and that's what we want to see. I mean, the auras, you know, Endurance Aura, War Drums, very strong. Khadgar's Pipe, you know, so the auras are stronger, but other than that, the claws, those are nice. Those are real. I can't complain with those.
Two variations, the Naga as opposed to the Dark Ranger. Dark Ranger is very good. Well, both heroes are very good in terms of, like, as soon as the Naga gets level 3, which he already is, you see that level 2 Fork Lightning, super effective damage combined with a Nova. Whereas the silences could be on point, and that could mean, like, a dead Fiend silence, a dead Lich silence, right? So
yep.
It's really going to come down to mechanics and how these players micro. Two very different variations right now. But both players just creeping really well, and I would say that 120 is creeping phenomenally. I mean, both players pretty equal in experience, just it's going to come down to items, and I think Michael's got the best of them so far. And it looks like 120 got Helm of Valor on his Lich.
Yeah, that is Helm of Valor. Not too bad. Not too bad. Going to help out a little bit. The stat items are always nice to get, but again, an Aura would have probably tilted the scales in his favor. And there's the level 2 on that Lich third. And now will we have our first big fight? There's no level 2 Dark Ranger yet, so no Black Arrow, just the silence, but that is the key spell. Here comes in the first fight. Dark Ranger in the front, going to get a silence off. First coil going to go on a Fiend. It looks like Michael has the better positioning, but his Dark Ranger's out of position. And is it just going to fall? It does fall. That's the nuke from that Naga second, putting in a lot of work.
Oh, Michael's actually getting destroyed here. Dark Ranger goes down, another Fiend goes down, a second Fiend goes down, and 120's running away with this fight. Wand of Illusion on a bunch of the Fiends at the front line. Actually, 120 losing a few, but is Michael losing too much here? 120 starting to trade negatively too.
Yeah, the Naga really out of position, but nice invuln. And the Death Knight actually taking a little bit of damage. The Cold Arrow was putting in so much work. The Destroyer is webbed in the front. And that actually was an illusion Dark Ranger that died earlier, wasn't it? But the Death Knight is going to be micro back. Both players really, really low Death Knights, but there is a potion of invulnerability on Michael's. No player has lost a hero yet. Don't listen to me, but now the Lich is getting lower and lower and lower. The silence and the block, it's almost going down, but look at the Death Knight chasing, and the coil comes off, and now the Death Knight of Michael is exposed. All the heroes are low. Look at the damage on all the heroes.
Does he have a coil for this Lich? Does he have a coil for the Lich? He's going for the Death Knight, and 120 TP's out. This is crazy. Michael's played so aggressive with his DK. Is it going to live? He TP's out anyway just to make sure. That was so crazy. He's chasing a Lich like that. Usually you get Nova or something. The Nova was so close, by the way, on that Lich. Nice coil coming in from 120 as well. This is a crazy game so far. Both players actually trading up their armies. Michael doesn't have many units. 120 sitting at 50 food.
Yeah, I was going to say, look at the supply, and in the meantime, 120 has an expansion going up too, so that it looked like an even trade. Looked like all the heroes were getting low. Both players' town port are low, but at the end of the day, 120 killed a lot more Fiends there, and he has the expansion coming up, so a very good fight for 120.
Yeah, we're starting to see the Naga kind of run away with us as opposed to the Dark Ranger. The Dark Ranger finally getting level 2 for that the arrow that makes the skellies, which is really good. More skeletons. Does the Lich have Dark Ritual? Yes, it does. Okay. So we're going to see a lot more Novas now, a lot more units. Maybe Michael could take a better fight, but this Naga is actually running away with this. Fork Lightning's just on point. Level 2 Cold Arrow, just really devastating damage. And the Lich for 120, very close to level 3. He's one critter away.
One critter away 1 experience point away. He does have that orange turtle camp in the corner, which he could take. Michael is picking up the remnants of his side of the map as well. He also has one of those camps left, and those 2 trappers from earlier at the expansion. Looks like 120 is going to go down and get his last camp. He can safely do that. The orb helps you creep very fast, and the hero level's getting out of control for both players, honestly. But what's really going to get out of control is the economy for 120.
Yeah, and 120, as soon as he hits that expansion, the mine's up. He's just breaking. 61 supply. The man is just going straight for the juggler. And I cannot get over the creeping from both these players. Both players have crept the whole map.
They're creeping up a storm, man, and that's kind of Undead Mirror. You either fight a lot, you either harass a lot, we were talking about the hit and run style that this matchup can have, or you creep a lot, and it really depends when you're creeping a lot on the expansion timing, on the positioning on your map to enable you to get that expansion up, and 120 has the advantage all the way, but the army disadvantage 15 supply, so it looks like it's do or die for Michael now, man. He's trying to counter expand, but he's got to win a fight, and he's got to win a fight with much less units.
Yeah, he's not going to have the supply. He does have the items, though, because I would say the claws with the orb, and he's also got a Sobi mask on his DK. The items are in favor of him, but the supply is not. But this is a 120 food advantage. It's incredible. Is this going to... And Michael's actually going to fight outside the expansion.
Oh my god.
The Fork Lightning combined with the Nova. One Fiend instantly drops.
So much damage. The coils are being exchanged. One Fiend is leading for Michael. Is going to go down right away. That's the second Fiend to fall. One is being nicely micro back, but the damage is too much. 120 is going to lose one in exchange, but all the Fiends are dying out, but 120 has the Fiend advantage. Look at the supply. Almost a 30 supply advantage. The expansion's mining in the back. The Cold Tower is up as well, slowing everything. The Naga takes a lot of damage, but Healthstone is popped. Statues are working away. The Death Knight taking a lot of damage, and GG is called.
Yeah, the food differential, way too much there. And you have to dive your Fiends forward, or you're just going to... you have to dive your Fiend forward to attack. And he was just finding himself getting constantly Fork Novad, constantly Novad. It was... yeah, Fork Nova combo. But it was just too much damage for 120, and that's going to be game number 1.
Yeah, that was pretty convincing. The early game was kind of slow. The mid game was kind of slow too. A lot of creeping. Like the early game, they're in this stalemate where neither player could kind of creep, and then eventually the Naga got picked up. Michael was forced to go back. 120 got a couple of free camps because of the Naga. Into the mid game, they just both crept. Then 120 took a really good fight when they were both kind of on equal supplies, got an expansion while doing so, and with that one fight, just sort of got further and further ahead, and then eventually 30 supply advantage. You know, Michael tried his best, but it's hard to win a fight against Micro like that.
Yeah, I really like the Naga decision, too, to just keep pushing forward. 120 was in Michael's face. Sorry, I'm just so used to him being Lucifer. Michael's face the whole time. And I was wondering, how is he going to continue this pressure? And he just continued to be in his face and then just creeping all the time, stealing his items, and just always having the experience advantage. Despite Michael getting better items, he was just outclassed with when it came to food supply and just like hero levels. And even the hero combination, I think the Dark Ranger not doing as much as it probably should have, and the Naga just doing incredible amounts of damage. It's going to be game number 1 for 120. We hop into Amazonia for game number 2. I'm really excited for Amazonia. I think I love how it's so small and close spawn, and if you're aggressive, it's going to be great.
Yeah. And the creep war is less effective on this map because there's the 2 red camps that are extremely hard to creep, so you could easily be creep jacked and they take a while to finish. But other than that, not a lot of camps to take on the map, so you end up with a lot more fights, and you also have a more difficult, more exposed expansion that is much more obvious because there's only the one expansion for each player. So probably a much more aggressive game, I would imagine, from at least one of these 2 players.
Yeah, Amazonia. It's going to be nuts. Maybe do you switch it up if you're Michael? Do you go into that Lich style? Do you go for Crypt Lord? I think like with the small map, you do want to be aggressive. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
We'll
maybe.
see.
I think a Lich is definitely a possibility. We talk about this Lightning Shield creep on the Laboratory early. You can get an early level 3 hero. Early level 3 Lich, pretty strong. The first player to get level 5 Lich, generally in Undead Mirror, is in a very good, happy position. So, you know, if you go Lich first on this map, you can make it work, I think. But if we saw Death Knight Mirror on last Refuge, you know, we might just see Death Knight all the way through until Terran is stand.
Yeah, interesting. There's so many choices all the time. It's really difficult. I think on Amazonia, though, Lich is all right. You get there really quick with your ghouls. You can do some damage. And then eventually you just transition into the standard. You know, you go your DK second, you get your Dark Ranger third or something, and you just go into standard Fiend Destroyer, which is what we saw in the last game. But it's really good to get that Lich aggressive. If you can kill some Acolytes early, if you can delay the tech, then you're pushing him with an orb. You're pushing him with units that he doesn't have, right? So it's always good, but it comes down to 120's control. I mean, 120 on the other hand could do Lich Opener, and that's scary.
Yeah, and we saw how much damage he was almost able to do last game with just a Death Knight and a couple of skeletons. He canceled a Zig. He almost got an Acolyte if it weren't for Michael's nice play there, teleporting the Acolyte. So with a Lich, with some ghouls, he could probably do a lot of work and delay the tech. It's always a race to tier 3. It's a race to that Orb of Corruption. When you have that, you can win fights. When you have that, you can creep much faster. So just getting that tier 3 first in Undead Mirror is such a huge deal.
Yeah, Amazonia, also a map where you can get a quick level 2 and then push forward, or if you're aggressive, you can steal your opponent's level 2 by with coils if you do have that Death Knight. There's just so many ways to play Amazonia, so if you're passive or aggressive, it can favor you. Really wonder what both players are going to do. Really wonder when the game's going to start. I'm getting antsy.
Yeah, I'm getting anxious. Amazonia is going to be quite the banger of a map. I quite like it for this matchup. Quite like it. And the items, you know, we talked a lot about the items. We had the 3 circlets on the Naga. We had those claws plus 12, which were helping out quite a bit. But that was on Michael's end, so maybe not too effective at the end of the day. But what was it for 120?
Just a lot of units. A lot of units.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael had the Sobi, Michael had the claws.
Yeah.
What did 120 have item-wise? He had the invuln.
The circlets on his Naga with the health stones, so that was pretty beefy, but I think the Lich was favoring Michael in the end. But on Amazonia, what I was going to say is there's not too many great items you can get. You can get a couple of permanent items, but, you know, the shop doesn't give you much. There's only little items at your green camps and those orange trapper camps. Red camps are a long ways away. The consumable at the expansion, you can't really get very stacked heroes on Amazonia.
No, and like you said, the red camps are so impossible to creep. You don't creep them until like late game because the golems are so strong. But yeah, the Merc does give you a good item. Relatively easy to creep too. As soon as you get your second hero, you can almost do that right away. So
yeah,
I think the thing is going to be, are we actually going to see Death Knight for both players 5 straight games? Or does somebody switch it up? And if so, who and when and why and how?
Yeah, and how and where and when?
And with what?
With the Death Knight.
Yeah.
With the candlestick in the library.
Winner of this, guys, this is the last quarterfinals of World Cyber Games. The winner of this will join Colorful, Fly, and Moon in the semifinals of World Cyber Games. Get a little extra cash, Areno, too, if you get into that semifinals. The thousands start to go up, Carson. They tend to multiply as well.
Damn, dude, my bank account is growing and growing and growing every day.
Oh yeah, are you in the top 4?
One day.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Look out for me, Moon. If that's even your real name.
True. You have an incredible light on your face. I don't know.
Yeah,
do you have like a light right in front of you?
I'm effulgent.
Like you're extremely bright and I'm extremely dark.
Oh, there's the before. Effulgent.
Effulgent? No.
Look it up, man. Try it out.
Try it out. I will.
I'm effulgent right now.
If you guys hear that sound, that means we have game number 2 ready to go. We're hopping into it. It's Amazonia. Undead Mirror. Game number 2, guys.
All right. We talked a lot about it. Different strategies, trying to hype it up, trying to spice it up. But will they spice it up? And he is. Ooh, Ricky.
I think I know what we're looking at, Carson.
Yeah, I think I may too. There.
Looks like Michael's going to be the first one to switch it up, guys. Game number 2, 120, sticking it out with Ted Fiends. Michael going for Philbot Fiends, and this could be a Crypt Lord opener.
It could very well be. Yeah, and a very interesting build order. Like, what is your first creep camp? We talk a lot about the lightning shield creep being very free. You can do it with just a couple skeletons, a couple of ghouls. You get the lightning shield with your coil and your death knight, and you get that level 2 very early coil on Holy Aura. you know, as soon as your hero comes out, pretty much, it's just gifted to you. Whereas with Crypt Lord, with a slow Fiend build order, you might be pressured by that level 2 Death Knight. And it might slow down your creeping a little bit, but we'll have to see how it plays out. It will be Death Knight from 120. We're waiting to see for Michael.
Yeah, and the thing is, like you said, with that Lightning Shield creep, you can get level 2. So even though you're opening Philbot Fiends and your army is slower to come out, your hero's slower to come out, you're genuinely still level 2 fairly quickly. But I think with Ted Fiends, as soon as 120 scouts this, he's probably going to send his DK across because he thinks it's Crypt Lord, right? And if you do go Crypt Lord, you just want to be in his face right away. That's how you counter that Crypt Lord fast expansion. Just get into your opponent's face, start stealing his experience, drink his milkshake, and win the game. Is this Crypt Lord, though? Please, Observer, go to the altar, please.
Yeah, and Michael's kind of gifting it to him as well, and it is a Crypt Lord. He's gifting him the opportunity to harass his creeping by going slow hero, fast Fiends. So I think that's a very good point.
Yeah, but the thing is, it does pay off going full buff Fiends eventually if you don't lose any units, because you're going to have a lot more Fiends than the 10 Fiends opener gives you. Michael's going to have 3 right away. Quickly into 4 as soon as he starts to go to the expansion, whereas 120 is only gonna have 1 or 2 during this push. So if Michael can hold, then you're in a very good position. But 120, this is 120's Death Knight. This is devastating damage. This guy could come and end your whole career. Is this going to be the case? And here he is. He's right at the front door. He's waiting. He's ready. And this puts a lot of decision making on Michael. What do you want to creep? Do you want to creep right away? And actually, 120's taken him to the bank.
Oh my god, did he just surround that Fiend? He just surrounded that Fiend.
There's no coil.
No death coil, Ricky. He just surrounded the Fiend. What is happening? This is crazy from 120. What a madman.
This is devastating. This is devastating damage that Michael's already taken. 1 Fiend going down before the fight even begins. Never mind creeping. He's struggling to survive right now.
Oh, Lee. Oh, God. He just walks in there and kills his Fiend. He just walks right into his house. Kills his first Fiend. Now what do you creep? Now what do you do? There's probably equal Fiend count for both players. The Skeletons are pressuring the Acolytes. The tech is slowed down because of this. And look at the tech already started. There's the bonus of going Ted Fiends. And the Philbot Fiends not looking like any units at all. There's a lot of summons, but only 1 Fiend now.
And that's the problem with going Crypt Lord. If you're 120, right-click everything, do damage, because there is no coil, there is no HP sustain. And here comes 120. He's actually bringing the Acolyte for more damage, too. No way he goes for another... No way. He's blocking the Fiend. Okay, 1 Fiend comes in. He's just picking off experience. Steals the experience as well, even on the small Wizard, which is always good. Anytime that you can avoid level 2 Crypt Lord, which is Impale, anytime you can avoid level 3 Crypt Lord, which is when the beetles start to get insane, this is a really good early game from 120 so far. And because you're opening Ted Fiends, Carson, your tech is going to be way quicker, so we might actually see a Tavern Hero from 120 if he wants to put on more pressure.
We could definitely see a Naga again, and especially he's got a lot of coils left. He only used his first coil. There we see one of the rogues get stolen again, and the Death Knight has an experience advantage. He's not going to be able to deny this next creep, but will he be able to deny the very last one? This is crucial. This is level 2 for whoever gets it.
Lightning Shield quickly microed away, but Michael brings it back, and these Fiends are taking some serious damage. Michael may be a little discombobulated, maybe a little under pressure here from 120, and I don't blame him. The DK is taking a lot of damage, but there's just so much sustainability from 120, and he's buying so much time. It's forced Michael to actually tech, I believe.
Yeah, there's 3 Fiends, and actually the Renegade Wizard goes a little bit out of position, a little far away from home, and that will grant the level 2 to the Crypt Lord. And he's got the mana for the Impale, and enough units to go for surrounds. So with that, 120 probably going to have to back off, but there is a couple of creep camps around here he could get that aura off of, and you're talking about how low the Death Knight is. If he's able to get that level 2, he can start to regenerate some of those lost hit points.
Yeah, he definitely needs level 2, and he can get it from a Skelly if he so chooses, but the aura is very, very important, and it looks like a coil comes in. He misses this one.
That was a lot of damage. Didn't even need to play Ring Around the Rosy with that creep. He just attacks it with everything. He gets the experience, and the Crypt Lord all of a sudden level 2.5, and there's the Naga Sea Witch coming out of the tavern, and this is going to be a lot of pressure coming Michael's way. How's he going to deal with it? He lost the Fiend earlier, but now the summon count is going up.
The creep jack is huge. The Fiends are exposed. If he targets one, he's actually targeting a beetle. I think he should right-click a Fiend instead. But taking down all these Skellies and the beetles just exposes the Fiends. Nice Impale, actually, from Michael. And this is about as good as the fight's gonna get. The first fiend, and it goes down. There's no coil, man. You don't want to lose fiends right now if you're in Michael's position. 120 gonna back off. He actually has no mana himself. 2 of his fiends very, very low. But if 120 can continue to put pressure on, these fiend losses for Michael are insane right now.
Yeah, and where's the first statue for 120? He had that tech advantage. He should have the first one pumping out in no time. And with that, those lack of coils you're talking about won't be a problem anymore. But now, what do you creep if you're Michael? You go out of your base for a second, you put your foot out the door, and you're saying, I'm going to take on the world today, and you just lose fiend after fiend. That's 2 already going down this game, and now he's going for the shop again, but 120's still in his face.
Tech is behind. A saving grace here could be a nice impale, quick fiend kill. There is no mana. Level 3 on the Cripplord would be really, really good in this case. You want more damage. You want those beetles. But the tech is a little bit behind. I'm actually surprised. Michael's actually keeping up with the tech, I believe. The tier 3 tech, almost very similar, if not 120's a little bit ahead. 120 might actually be halfway done where Michael's a third. So, or not very, or a half, I think, or a quarter? Quarter, yeah. That's how you do...
1/8?
1/8? 1/16th note. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Michael's actually not doing too bad here. 120 struggling to find kills, and this Naga need to right click the fiends. Look at all the fiends in 120's base though.
Yeah, a lot of low fiends, and the statue just now started. The Cripplord is getting kind of low too. The Death Coil should be out in no time out of that altar, I would imagine, and there it is. Yeah, and the coil is here. It has arrived. That Cripplord's going to be healed up, and with that, Michael's probably going to be able to get out of his base, probably going to be able to get some creeping, and 120 might have to back off.
120 will, but I think you definitely want to steal the kobolds. If Michael's going for the shop, level 3 is going to be his choice, but the kobolds drop really good items, tons of XP as well, and that's what 120 is going to do. He's going to steal Michael's first, which is great. We'll see what kind of item he gets. Okay, just okay, there we go. Does he go for his as well? I'm surprised he didn't creep the whole camp out, but that's fine. He definitely has the
just
time.
trying to get those items. He does have a couple creep camps back at home that will allow him to at least get 3/3, so maybe he just wants to take the cheese from the bread, just like last game. He was a little bit at that expansion of Michael earlier on. But yeah, the Lich is coming out. The Orb is going to be unlocked soon. The statues are now arriving for 120. For Michael, though, the Tier 3 tech will be kicking in as well in no time, and he's finally got that level 3 Cripplord.
Okay, here we go. Lich is not out with Orb yet, but the Naga is here. Nice impale. Could Michael get surface area on the Naga and surround it? The DK actually passes the TP over to the Naga, and oh, really nice play from 120, saving his Naga from a really precarious situation. The Fiend might go down too. 120 got really lucky there, and Michael, really good engage, and now that's going to give him time to go to the Merc camp. And if you're 120, I don't know if you want to be so aggressive anymore. You definitely want to just keep creeping. Your DK is not level 3. And that's definitely the case. You want your level 3 DK right now.
Yeah, and this is an interesting position. So 120 knows that Michael's going to take his top left. So now 120 is taking the shop, but then 120 is forced into a position where he either has to creep jack Michael at his expansion or go down to the bottom. If he goes down to the bottom, Michael has time to take the mercenary camp, the expansion, and then meet 120 at the bottom and creep jack him. So there's a really big choice for 120. It looks like he is going to go up to the expansion and creep jack Michael. I think that's the right choice.
Yeah, interesting. He could have taken the Merc camp and the expansion for himself as well, but I think he sees blood because he's got the Orb, he's got the Lich, and one of the Fiends gets actually ensnared. A Nova could come in, and look at that, Michael TP's out right away, and I don't think he's going to lose this Fiend. What a great TP timing from Michael.
Yeah,
and now he can just go to his expansion now.
Yeah, I think that definitely, either way that worked out for Michael, I think it was going to be good with that forced original town portal. Even though he has the town portal out himself, he still gets more value on the map. He still gets that mercenary camp and everything at the bottom. But we see 120 is respecting this, and he's just going to creep jack Michael. So it's really a fight over who gets the majority of these camps. And here comes 120.
What do you think about the scale, Carson, as opposed to Cripplord and Naga going into the late game?
I think Cripplord is pretty good. The Beetle is going to be less and less effective, but the Impale is always huge, as we see there, hitting 4 Fiends. The Statue's going to go down, and the Destroyer in the air is putting in work. The Death might take a little bit of damage, and there's no level 2 coil yet on Michael's side, but 120, he's got to watch his Naga. Even if without the level 2 coil, that Naga can still be nuked down, but the Fork Lightning is going to nuke on his side as well.
Yeah, 120 is finding so many kills here. 2 Fiends dropping for Michael already, and Michael hasn't killed a unit for 120. The Lich Orb doing some serious work, and actually the DK for Michael a little exposed, and Nova goes down on him. A few right clicks and he could be dead. He's only level 2, but he gets away. But at what cost? He's going to lose another Fiend? You don't want to be losing so many units.
And this is the fight over the bottom right as well. This is the fight over that mercenary camp, over that big item. And 120 so far winning that fight. And is Michael going to continue to contest? I think he should just go and maybe try to take the red. You can take the red if you have Orb of Corruption.
A player's forces are under attack.
Oh, 120 is so far ahead, man. He's going for upgrades. He's already got 1-1 upgraded. He's got the hero advantage. He's got the supply advantage. And now he's going to have a huge item advantage. What item did he pick up? Look like Scroll the Beast. Scroll the Beast. I mean, come on, man.
Can't complain with that, can you? There's the Sobi mask as well.
Oh.
That would be good for either player. But the red camps are now up for grabs. We were talking about these a little bit earlier. They take a long time, but boy, do they pay off if you get them. And both players are going to be scooping them up, going to potentially get those big auras that we didn't see last game.
Player's forces are under attack.
Yeah, and Michael's still sitting at 44 supply. Is he going for an expansion? Because I think right now 120's breaking. 120's looking extremely strong. You need to start building units, and now we're seeing another Fiend get built. Hood of Cunning being dropped for Michael. That's all right. What item is being dropped for... Oh my...
That's pretty good, man. Again,
All
no
right.
auras, though. The game-winning auras. The Khadgar's Pipe is literally game-winning. Even if you're in Michael's position, down by some supply, you lost a fight, you get Khadgar's, and boom, you're back in the game. Very, very nice item to get, but neither player getting that in either of the games so far, but the Claws plus 12. Oh, yeah, baby.
That's a really good item. And I really like 120 splitting off his heroes and creeping. His Lich is so close to level 3, and that's almost 3 heroes at level 3 apiece, whereas Michael's Lich, 2.2, and all the creep camps are done, so you have to rely on a fight to get that level 2 Nova.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do they do now? See, interesting position now. 120 is broken. All the creeps are gone, right? Pretty much a little bit of greens left here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But Michael's under upkeep. He can sit in his base. He can bank. He's getting a Temple of the Damned. He's going to be able to just bank up. And now the pressure's on 120 to either push or go for an expansion and force Michael out of his base.
I really think the best play would be an expansion rather than just pushing, because you've already got the 64 supply. You have good economy actually right now, even broken upkeep. Yeah, and that's what 120 is going to do. Sends the Acolyte there, and this is actually putting the clock on Michael to make a decision, because now you don't have a broken army. You have 50 supply, and you're not expanding. So you need to break and you need to push, because 120 is clearly ahead in every spot.
Yeah, and he's down on upgrades, Michael. He's down on supply, and he doesn't even have a bank. 120 had actually more gold before he put down that expansion as natural. The Beetle's going to scout it, and maybe that's Michael's play. He can just continuously send Beetles to cancel the expansion all day, and now 120 is pushing to the main base, but against towers, you're really going to do that, and against the big Impales as well.
Is 120 going to commit to this fight? I think he is. I think he sees that Michael doesn't have that many units, although Michael does have a lot of Fiends. And the Cripplord's a little out of position. Is there a coil for him? Coil must come in, but is the Naga going to die?
Where's the coil? Where's the coil on the Cripplord? Okay, there's no nuke, but now the Deathlight is exposed, and we see how fast that nuke is. The big Impales are helping, and now the Naga's exposed, but again, there's no death coil anymore. And it does go down, actually, to a Nova. In the end, it looked like an invul now on the Lich. But the Scroll, the Beast, the Fiends are putting in work. Even if the Naga goes down, you don't have your Death Coil. You don't have your big heal.
There's just so much damage coming from 120, and there's no way to heal. Oh, the health pot used on the Lich, but there's no coils coming in. Look at the damage from the Overcrush. Another health pot. Oh, man. Was that a heal scroll the first time? It must have been.
Yes. Yeah, heal scroll. Now the Lich for 120. A little bit out of position, actually. Okay, but there's always a heal. There's always a potion. There's always a coil. And now the Cripplord is the one out of position. The heroes, one after the next, are going to fall. There's the Nova. There's the Cripplord going down. That's a 2-0 for 1-2-0.
Real
Clean
smooth.
game.
It's looking real clean, real smooth for the Chinese undead player. And if you're Michael, man, how do you come back? We didn't see the reverse sweep in the first quarterfinals. Do we see one this time? And if so, it doesn't even look like there's any window or way that Michael's getting any advantages in this game. He's just getting constantly outplayed. 120 was so much farther ahead than we even imagined. His expansion didn't even put an expansion, but he was so far ahead in upgrades. He had 2-1 versus 1-0. His army just had way more units. Just and the decision with the Naga again to just be so aggressive. I love this style from 120. He micros so well, and it looked like Michael, who's playing really good, by the way, guys. Michael is playing really good. He's in really tip-top shape. He's kind of getting outplayed here.
Yeah, and it seems like there's never a point where 120 is behind. Has he lost a fight in this whole series yet? There's only been a few fights, I think 2 in each game, but 120 never seems to be on the back foot. If you look at the supply in the mids of the fight, at the end of the fight, 120 is always ahead in the supply count at every point. And for some reason, he's always ahead in the upgrades. He's always got more gold somehow, and he always gets a little bit more value out of the creeping. So in just every aspect right now, 120 seems to be playing better.
Yeah, he's kind of outclassing Michael, but this is probably the only map that I would say that Michael can maybe turn it around or get some type of advantage. That's Tyranna's Stand, TS, obviously a huge map for Crippler. We did see that from Michael in game number 2, but you know, if there's a map where he can actually change it around with his style, I would say it's Tyranna's Stand, and luckily for him, it's third.
For sure. And we saw he likes the Crypt Lord last game, and he didn't play it bad. It's just hard if you're on one base, of course, to play the Crypt Lord. It's not as strong without the expansion, but Tyranna's Stand, can you even stop the expansion with the Death Knight? Maybe it's going to be a Crypt Lord mirror, and with that, sometimes you see one base versus one base, but if it's Crypt Lord versus Crypt Lord, you're both a little bit weaker going into the mid game, so very, very wacky games can happen here.
Yeah, Tyranna's Stand, especially as an undead player, it's really hard to just go Ted Fiends and take a chance, because if the other player opens DK, you're going across the map, and you're wrapping, if you're at the top, you're wrapping from the west side up to the expansion, so if the Death Knight creeps the Wizards and then the Merc, you're completely out of position. You almost have to scout with an Acolyte, so probably going to see, obviously, I mean, yeah, I don't know, it depends if you go Ted Fiends or if you go Crypt Lord with the Crypt Altar opener. It could get really dicey. Tyranna's Stand is one of those dicey maps where I think if you just make it, you have to stick with a decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the expansion is very long ways to get to, like you said. And if both players go Crypt Lord, we might actually see a 2-base versus 2-base. I did touch a little bit earlier that sometimes in Crypt Lord Mirror, because there's so much potential for beetle harass and hit and runs, it ends up with both players not being able to get their expansion up. But on a big map like Tyranna's Stand, where the expansion is very safe, you can actually see the kind of rare occasion where it's a 2-base versus 2-base, Crypt Lord versus Crypt Lord, full economy, full late game, big army game, and that could be interesting.
That'd be really nice to see. And does Michael come back? Because it's do or die for him. Tyranna's Stand going to decide his fate. Does he continue the series going? Or is he out and about? And we got 120 hopping into the semifinals. 2 sweeps? Yesterday, there goes the distance. We got 2 sweeps? What's going on here?
I mean, the Infi Moon series, I would not call a sweep. That was
tremendous.
Something else.
That was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
This is kind of the 120 show so far, but in that series, it did not seem like the Moon show. It seemed like the Infi show until somehow Moon comes back in the last 30 seconds, and there we hear it.
There's the buzzer. We got game number 3 coming up on Tyranna's Stand. Let's hop into it. Tyranna's Stand, Undead Mirror, Carson. Bippity boppity boo. I choose you. Pikachu.
Mouse
120
ran up the clock.
120 spawning in the bottom right. I forget the builder. Okay. At least one person is honoring the tradition.
It's a mirror.
It's
a mirror. They
is
did
it?
the same.
Oh
They did the same.
yeah. Crypt Lord,
Right.
baby.
Crypt Lord Ghouls, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the mirror. The question is, I keep saying it, will they go for full hit and run, full back and forth, full beetle harass, or will they go more passive? Both have the expansion, big armies, late game. We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Oh, this is so exciting. I don't even remember the last time I actually saw a Crypt Lord mirror. I mean, it would have to be in the NA games, but this is way higher level. This is the tip-top level. Michael versus 120. Crypt Lord mirror on TS. Strap yourselves in. As an undead player, I'm very anxious to see how they play this out.
All right, well, let's confirm the heroes. There is the CL, the Crypt Lord, the Big Beetle, the Big Boy, the Strong Man, and on the other side, bum bum bum, Crypt Lord Mirror. Okay, here we go, baby.
So do both players just play super passive and do their expansion? Nobody really goes aggressive and scouts? This is just going to be an identical mirror all the way through, or can there be variation?
I think there could be variation. There can be lots of all-in strategies. We've seen like 2 crypt all-ins with lots of ghouls, similar to like sometimes you see that against Night Elf with a Death Knight. We've seen that before. We've seen players just go 2 base, but it looks like both players are in shape just to kill this critter by their expo and go for the creep. And the Acolytes are going to be very late to scout that it's a Crypt Lord mirror, but I suspect both players know what's coming their way.
Yeah, both players scouting with the Acolyte, and they're not sticking around, which shows you that they definitely want to keep them around. So, yeah, I think if the Acolyte was like right outside the Crypt Lord and like running to the Wizards, you'd probably be like, okay, it's probably a Ted Fiend's opener. But we got Crypt Lord, Mirror, Baby, Blight Skull apiece. Both players just going straight for it. Ooh.
Yeah, both killing the critter. Both going to it. Actually, a little bit of variation. Yeah, 120 going for his little Cobalt camp. First, going to get a little item. You still have to wait to have the gold, to have the lumber, to get the expansion up. So, not a bad choice from 120, but Michael's going to opt to get his Ziggurat, I imagine, built early to get that Nerubian tower, secure the safety as expansion. So, a little variance, but nothing too surprising.
Yep, and there's the Ziggurat for Michael. 120. Going to creep, he's got the extra item like you said. He's got more beetles. Always good. Level 2 for Michael, though. A little faster. But I wonder if the expansions go down at the relatively same time, because the wood, like you said, it's always the Haunted Goldmine that takes the longest. Level 2 for both players. Prayer of Vitality, Gloves of Haste versus... what did Michael get?
It looks to be a Talisman of Evasion.
Oh,
so
okay.
a little bit more tankiness on that big boy. That's always nice to have with the Circlet of Nobility on top, some more health. So it's nice.
And now that the jig is up and both players have an expansion, it looks like 120 is going to be the first one to draw first blood. He sends a bunch of beetles to the expansion. This is a little bit awkward for Michael. Michael's a little out of card. With this many units, can you actually just straight up cancel it?
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes in Crypt Lord Mirror, you think you're both going to get the expo up safely. This could happen all day, Ricky, and you end up in these weird stalemate one base games when both players ideally wanted a fast expansion, and we see just how effective these beetles are.
That was so preemptive, though. Michael, you could have waited a bit more, bought a bit more time.
Yeah, but they can burrow. You lose a bit more gold the longer you wait. Now there's a Staff of Teleportation for 120, and the beetles are still here. He could come across the map with level 2 beetles, and his corpse is fresh.
Okay, well, it's a pretty clear advantage for 120 at this point. I'm not sure if Michael wants to put himself in this kind of position. He rebuilds the Haunted Goldmine, and he's got to go across and do some damage of his own. I mean, the expansions aren't going to be too far apart. Uh-oh.
A town forces are under attack.
We're all right.
We're back. We're back,
We're
baby.
back. We're back. The tension. The stream can barely handle the tension. And look at the split push. Look at the right side. Look at the left side.
120.
He's going to 2 angles.
And he's got a lot.
120 money. That's what we should call him.
And he's got a lot of units like at this in front of Michael right now. Like he's got some ghouls, a few skellies, I guess. But look
He's
at
going into the main base as well. If you see there's 2 red dots going into the main, and now the Crippler's going to the main. This is a masterclass from 120. He's dominating him.
This is crazy. Look at this. One ghoul skelly. Nice impale from Michael though. Can he pick off some of these beetles? He needs to kill them. Another cancel. Did he cancel? What's the wood? Yeah, he did cancel. Yes, he did.
Yeah. But there's still no tech. I imagine 120's fully mining and teching behind this. Masterclass. Look, there's not even 5 on gold for Michael, and the gold mine's being canceled again soon enough. All right, beetles.
Ooh,
see, again, there's beetles of Michael at the expansion, slowing it down a little bit, but not clearly not as much damage as 120 has done.
Yeah, and 120's got a lot of mana, and you can use an Impale to secure an Acolyte kill at this point. You've already slowed down the tech, might as well keep it going. Is he going to do that? He's just going to staff out, actually. And does he staff out to the expansion? He does staff out to the expansion. This could be an Impale here. The Impale could be crazy, but he's actually just going to cancel again, and 120 is so far ahead. Carson, this is, like you said, an absolute masterclass of how to do this. Ring around the rosy. You can't catch me, because my pockets are full of posy, baby.
Yeah, you can't see me, John Cena. Look at the mana on the Crypt Lord still of 120 as well. He's got what, 5 beetles here and still a 200 mana pool with the Impale potential. Could even Impale these Acolytes and maybe go for them, but it doesn't matter what he does at this point. He's even, yeah, he's going to have tech soon. There's the Impale on the Acolytes. He might be forced to do a Town Portal, but the damage has been done.
This is the almost game-ending damage, and like you said, I'd be very curious to see how far along 120's techie is. Oh, he's actually not techie as well. Oh, that's a shocker.
Yeah, I figured his tech would already be
I thought like
cruising and
half.
bruising.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. But I guess he's investing into a lot of ghouls, and maybe Michael did a little bit more damage at the expansion than we realized, because these Beatles and Michael have been doing some work on their own, but they're killing Acolytes that are already mining, whereas 120 is just canceling the mine altogether.
A town is under
Yeah, we see 120 using his gold. He's got a lot of wood for attack, but he's using a lot of his gold probably for Acolytes, probably for more ghouls, just to be a little bit more defensive. Both supplies are very even. Yeah, the Michael's doing a good job as well, I guess. Yeah, much better than we thought. And now, I mean, I thought the tech would be on. I don't really know is anyone ahead at this point?
Yeah, I guess because there was no Necropolis for 120, he needed to continue to reproduce those Acolytes he was losing to the Beatles splitting to his expansion. So he stayed on tier 1, but I think 120 is still clearly ahead with the economic lead.
Yeah, and about to have a really good item from this lab as well. But Michael, on the other hand, level 4 on the Crypt Lord, creeping on his Merc. See what items on the ground. Looks like Circlet.
A player's forces are under attack.
Ooh, greater mana for Michael. There we go. That's very nice.
Very, very nice. Mana, always better. Lots of Beetles. And we see he's actually pretty low on mana right now, too. So if you resummon some Beetles, maybe going to go for a hit at 120's expansion. Zeppelin and Shredder picked up for 120, and that's going to be nice for the economic advantage he already has.
What item's on the ground? Because that's the item from the Cobalt. Belt of Giant Strength.
Okay.
Okay. Definitely want to pick that up.
Too. Yeah, that's definitely helpful. And here's the Zeppelin. They're both hitting each other's expansions. This is what I'm talking about, the situation. Like, they both have expos, but they're barely mining. They're just getting harassed all day.
And Michael's here. Michael's here before 120. 120 just jumps in now, but he's got the Shredder as well, Carson. And that could do some serious damage to Acolytes. Oh, he's just going to dive the mine.
He's got the damage, I think, too, with one Impale. He's got the mana for the Impale now. He can Impale those Acolytes and probably get the kill on the gold mine. Look at the damage with the Scroll of the Beast. That's so much damage. But now the main base is exposed.
Yeah, he does Impale right away, too. And he actually probably gets the gold mine off cam there. He does get the mine, and he TP's back home. And what's Michael doing in return? Okay, he's trying to kill more Acolytes in return and trying to kill the gold mine of 120. But 120's back home. The Acolytes are here.
Okay, towers are being upgraded. There's no Impales left for 120. There is one for Michael, and there we see it, and the gold mine's exposed. I don't believe the expansion took too much damage for 120, so if this gold mine goes down, it will still just be one base, but I think you'd rather lose. I don't know what you'd rather lose, and they're both going to lose one gold mine, and this is a slobber knocker, Rick.
It's going to come down to who has more units, Carson, I think, and I think 120 has way more units, and he's also got the Shredder at the expansion, which is a great unit. Level 5 on 120's Crypt Lord, and that's going to be level 3 Beetles.
Oh, so many units are going down. What's happening in the main base? Just a couple of Beetles, maybe not too much. Actually, there's a tech coming through, trying to come through for Michael, but I doubt those Beetles will do too much. The question is, how much more will 120 lose in his main? It doesn't look like much at all. But did all the Acolytes fall? No, he's got one there ready to rebuild that Haunted Gold Mine, so looks like just overall cleaner from 120.
Yeah, I would say so, because even though you lost the mine, you can always just rebuild that, whereas Michael lost like his whole infrastructure of his expansion. He only has the Necropolis back, and he's going to start rebuilding Acolytes and retry again. He does have the economy to put up his gold mine right away as well, but like we said, 42 supply to 27. 120's got a bit more ghouls. He's obviously got the stronger Beetles, and he's got the Shredder, and now he's got a Berserker. So does 120 want to go on the offensive while you still can? Because Michael is frantically trying to hold, and that's what 120 is going to do. 120 is going to go on the offensive straight into Michael's main base, and actually staffs in on top of boot. Look at that. Could be a nice Impale on his ghouls.
As well. That's going to help out quite a bit. Those level 3 Beetles that he does have. Yeah, he does have level 3 Beetles, so that's like a big bonus. The fact that Michael doesn't have the level 3 Beetles yet hurts quite a bit.
And what do you do if you're Michael? You come back home. You don't have many units, though. He's got a couple ghouls, I think. He's got a couple level 2 Beetles, but they don't compare to the just made level 3 Beetles. The Shredder is still alive. I think the Berserker's in the Zeppelin safe. And the Fiend actually out of position. And the Impale's there. That's a dead Fiend.
It's definitely a dead Fiend, and the gold mine is not even fully mining. There's the Impale you talked about. There's the Fiend dead you were talking about. And there's more units at the expansion again of Michael. The constant split push pressure, and now I think Michael's finally starting to crack. He's got nothing in the economy of 120, whereas 120 has completely shredded his economy.
This has just been straight off the get-go. 120 splitting off, killing the expansion. And I mean, Lucifer's literally down, Michael, sorry, down to his last 3 acolytes. Look at the micro from the Zeppelin for 120. 120 is just going to yeet out of there. He's like, see ya. And the DK, the second hero choice for 120 at the expansion. And this expansion still hasn't come up, Carson. This has got to be it.
He's mined 260 gold out of that expo the whole game. I'm interested to see what 120 is actually mined. Probably around 4,000, 5,000 out of his mine. And this expo's been rebuilt, what, 6, 7 times? 260 gold, Ricky. Worth it, you think?
Hashtag worth. I'm not too sure. It looks like 120 will be joining the 3 amigos, Fly, Colorful, and Moon in the semifinals. It's been a very good run for Michael, but he's out. 120 is your 3-0 winner, and he advances to the semifinals.
Domination, especially in that third game. Wow, 120 is just so good in those strategical, not so much like he's got very, very good micro, don't get me wrong, but when you're split pushing, when you need to make decisions in a split second, that's what he's very good at. He's a very Moon-esque player, very good on his feet, very good at making plays, and he made a lot of them that game.
Yeah, and it really comes down to like Undead Mirror, like 2 very good players, but 120 showing a little bit extra class, I would say, in this series. Michael kind of playing standard by the book. It was 120 that was pulling out the extra tricks, the Zeppelin play, the split pushes, just constantly in Michael's face, especially on Stand. And Michael had a really hard time dealing with it. He actually crumbled to it, despite the fact that he tried to base trade, which was okay. He got the mine, but just the infrastructure, and I think Michael just lost way too much. 120 didn't even really look like he was falling behind a little bit. I would be very curious to see how much gold he did mine, because it had to be at least 2,000. And yeah, he just completely outclassed Michael. But I mean, hats off. The run from Michael this tournament was very, very good. As a fan, I looked forward to watching his games, and hopefully he can continue. But it is the 120 show today.
Yeah, for sure. And we got our top 4 finalists, like you said, man, and very exciting players, for sure. Seeing Colorful and seeing Fly, who, you know, aren't typically making late stage runs in tournaments recently, but we obviously have 120 and Moon as well, who are legends that we're always happy to see. But Fly and Colorful, it's going to be very exciting to see them play.
And look at the brackets. We didn't know who was playing who, but it's going to... Oh, no, that's from today. Okay. Yeah, I was like, Infi, still alive. No, he is eliminated by the Moon, and Michael eliminated too. And yeah, I wonder who's playing who. I wonder if they're going to show that. But I would say like a big thing to talk about here is like all 4 players that are in the semifinals now are playing tremendous. None of them have gimmicked into the semis. Like Fly's run, incredible. Colorful, literally the dark horse of the tournament with the greatest Cinderella story I would say so far. Moon today, are you kidding me? Moon today, man. Are you kidding me? And then 120... just absolutely dominating Michael. These are 4 guys going into the semifinals that I don't want to miss these games. They're going to be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, they're all in top shape, man. And Fly, like 9-0 in his group, was it? Like Fly is dominating right now. Definitely potential contention to Lin for the best orc in the world, especially if he makes it deeper into this tournament, which, you know, he's already proven to himself, beating Lin, that he is definitely making his way to the top again, which is nice to see because Fly's been so shaky. He's been so inconsistent. That's also always with Michael. Yeah, he's been very inconsistent. But Michael's showing he can make deep runs still, and Fly definitely showing he can make deep runs as well. So very cool to see.
I mean, Moon's so dominant, so good, obviously, but I think everyone wants to avoid Colorful because he's just crushing everyone right now. I really want to see what the semifinal is going to look like. But yeah, I mean, Moon's games today, I cannot get over them. 120. Just dominating. It's incredible games to watch. I'm so happy to be a part of it. Happy you got to be a part of it too, man. We had a lot of fun today. I know I did.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. We can now say we casted for the World Cyber Games.
Yeah, jot that on the resume. It feels good, man.
Yeah, yeah. The
But-
two biggest losers to ever cast WCG.
There we go. Well, at least one for sure, right? But no, this is great, and the games were so good. When you get to that high level of World Cyber Games, you get to this high level, the games are actually so incredible, and every move is like calculated, and the builds are what we try to all mimic, what they perfect, you know. And it's just it's so good to watch. Such a breath of fresh air, and I look forward to the games, and they did not disappoint, which is always great.
Yeah, and the cool thing about the World Cyber Games, as well as, you know, like tournaments like WCA in the past, GCS in the past, people take them very seriously. This is the World Championship, so we don't see any off-race. We don't see any Firelord first trolling from 120. We
Yeah.
don't see people, you know, not playing their A game. We see who the cream of the crop is, who the best players are, and we've seen it. You know, when players play their best, when they take it serious, we get players like Fly making deep runs when they're finally on their A game, so it's really cool to see. And 120 taking it very seriously, playing very strong. Just all good things around. What a great event so far.
Yeah, and I don't really think it has anything to do with like balance. You're not seeing any humans in the semifinals, but it's really not for lack of trying. Moon just simply outplayed Infi. Could have easily had human representation. I think Infi played great. I mean, it's really just coming down to players outplaying the player, not so much the race. So it's really good to see like people are playing at their peak. I was I thought Michael played good. He just got outclassed. It's plain and simple, because if you look at the run from before, Michael played tremendous his entire run. You're looking at Colorful Fly. These are players that are actually, you know, on paper. Oh, we have the matches, boys. Look at that Colorful Fly and Moon 120. The rematch. Moon actually losing to 120. Colorful Fly.
Is that the best we could have had? Is there a more exciting matchup? Like, we got the two, you know, I hate to call Fly an underdog, but he's been an underdog recently. We got the two underdogs versus the two legends.
I don't even know. I mean, you could say Colorful 120 would be cool, Moon Fly, but I mean, at that point, I mean, they might still play each other. Who knows? But wow, what a matchup! I love the Night Elf Orc, Night Elf Undead. Both really good series to watch.
Oh, what's cool about this too? Yeah, we definitely get an underdog story in the finals. How legendary would that be? We have potential for Colorful. We have potential for Fly. When's the last time Fly won a very big tournament? I'm imagining probably recently. Maybe I'm not giving him too much credit, but you know, he's definitely been slumping, and to see him in the finals potentially, or Colorful in the finals, they're both going to be hype. And then 120 and Moon on the other side, they both deserve to be in the finals of almost every tournament they play. They're
and here's just a little touch of the teams, which I assume will be played after. Looking at the, because there is a team portion of the World Cyber Games, which is very interesting. Chimiko Sok Soen, Lolly at Lin 120, the obvious trio, Lolly at Lin 120, very strong, Linguagua Xiaokai Alice, and Yumiko WFZ and Zhu Shishi.
Very cool, very interesting. It's always nice to see team games, man. They're, you know, just to see the strategy that unveils when we get a hold of watching these Asian 2v2s, 3v3s, 4v4s, whatever it may be. Ooh.
Wow. Yeah, ooh. Michael Check Thunder, Moon Focus Fly. Ice
Can't
Orc
complain with
Mango
that, can
PCG, Colorful Fortitude 15 Sway. Fortitude in teams is really cool. So I think ELL is the 120 Lolly at Lin playing against Shishi's team. LP, I assume, is the romantic team.
So is this like two 2v2s? You pick two players out of the three, and you sort of make two 2v2 teams? Is that
I think
what
it's
it is?
2 solos and a 2v2.
Ah, very cool. Okay, so it's like a team league sort of format. Very cool.
Yeah, very similar to WGTL, where they had a couple. You had 4 players aside, I think, and just really cool, really cool. So I'm interested for that. I assume it's taking place after, because there wasn't a date there.
Yes,
But
yes. Yeah,
something to
Moon
look
Focus
forward to.
Fly
More
is
solos, more
incredible.
2v2s.
Yeah, these are going to be some incredible games, man. Very incredible. And when we're talking about the pressure of WCG or bigger tournaments making people perform their peak performance, if you're on a team, that's even more pressure. Not only is it a big stage, but you're also trying to lift up your teammates, trying to perform the best you can to help them win as well. So we're going to see some crispy games there as well, I'm certain.
Yeah, I think does WCG keep rolling into like tomorrow? Is that happening tomorrow?
I believe it is tomorrow. Same
Colorful
time, right?
Fly and 120 Moon, the rematch. Oh man, this is gonna be good. I assume they're best of 5s. Oh, this is gonna be so good. A Moon versus 120 rematch. I cannot wait. And then obviously the the true. I mean, they're all dark horses like Fly and Colorful, but the true story is Colorful's run. I mean, you gotta close out Fly and you gotta go into the finals at this point. The run is just so tremendous, like an actual Cinderella story. So he's playing out of his mind, and they weren't even really close. Colorful dismantled Loliet yesterday, I believe. Just it wasn't even really close. Loliet having a hard time. But guys, I think that's gonna do it for us, Carson. I really enjoyed you casting with me, and we're gonna hop into an ad break. Anything you want to say? Close of the show.
Well, yeah, of course, just thanks to WCG, thanks to Neo and Remo. I'm sorry they couldn't be here, but you guys got us. You got the, the fifth best. I'm sorry you couldn't have the top one. If you want to look at other tournaments, you can go to backtowarcraft.com to see all the scheduling. Of course, warcraft3.info. You can see the scheduling for the rest of this tournament and the other tournaments that are going on. ESL Meisterschaft. We have the ESL DreamHack Asia, I believe, going on right now as well, if you want to check that out. So thank you guys, and we'll see you whenever the next time is.
Okay, guys, we'll see you next time for the semifinals. Good night or good morning.
야, 뭐야?
야, 햇사랑 올려와. 아, 어디 가는 거야? 아, 조용히.
진짜 마스터한다 이거.